Phoenix Nights. Chapter 2294. Brat, that's not self-confidence, it's arrogance. In my long life, I've seen too many amazing talents. They were young, gifted, and powerful. But in the end, those people were annihilated. But don't worry, as long as you can get those things, you won't fall prematurely. I guarantee that you'll become a peerless and invincible figure. Hualing continued to entice Lin Feng, wanting to cooperate with him. How could Lin Feng believe Hualing's nonsense? Heavenly flames could evolve by devouring each other. If samsara unextinguished fire escaped, the first thing it would do would be to kill him and devour his 4 heavenly flames. As the 17th ranked heavenly flame, samsara unextinguished fire would definitely complete a transformation after devouring his 4 heavenly flames. At that time, no one knew what level of heavenly flame it would evolve into, but one could imagine that it would definitely evolve into an extremely heaven-defying heavenly flame. Therefore, Lin Feng would not cooperate with samsara unextinguished fire at all. Moreover, once samsara unextinguished fire was released, old monster Mo might die. This was naturally something that Lin Feng did not want to see. No matter what you say, I won't cooperate with you. So, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Lin Feng curled his lips and said, Brat, do you know that opportunities in life are often fleeting? When an opportunity descends and you can't grasp it, it'll be too late to regret it in the future. Hualing said. Lin Feng sneered and said, Is that so? Those words won't be able to sway my heart. Save it. Instead of wasting time persuading me, why don't you rest more? Hualing wanted to persuade Lin Feng again, but Lin Feng took the initiative to cut off the connection with Hualing. This fellow was not a good person, so Lin Feng could not be bothered to pay attention to him. 6 hours later, old monster Mo flew out. Hee, I finally got the thing out. It took a lot of effort. I was worried that you and Hualing would come to some agreement and trick me. Old monster Mo said with a grin. Lin Feng rolled his eyes at old monster Mo and said, Am I that kind of person? Ha ha. Old monster Mo laughed loudly and said, I know you're not that kind of person, so I asked you for help. This thing is your reward. Old monster Mo said as he handed an origin crystal to Lin Feng. This origin crystal was milky white in color. It was very different from ordinary crystal origin crystals. When Lin Feng grabbed the crystal, he felt a very special feeling. He felt as if he had grabbed a heavenly immortal chi. Immortal! Immortal treasure was a treasure. Immortal treasure, precious treasure it. This was a supreme treasure, an origin crystal that contained the essence of the immortal Tao. It was not something that ordinary origin crystals could compare to. The rarity of immortal stones could be described as hard to find, old monster Mo said. Back then, the great emperor sealed some things in this space, including some extremely precious treasures and even some immortal techniques. However, it is very difficult to break the seal and retrieve those things. Even I have to put in a lot of effort to retrieve those things. This surprised Lin Feng. Old monster Mo should be the reincarnation pagoda's artifact spirit. Wouldn't he be able to retrieve the things placed in the reincarnation pagoda as he wished? However, that did not seem to be the case. Moreover, the reincarnation immortal flames fire spirit had said that it would give him all the treasures sealed in the reincarnation pagoda if he let it out. It seemed like it was lying to him. Even old monster Mo found it difficult to retrieve those things, let alone the reincarnation immortal flames fire spirit. Why did the great emperor seal those things in here? Could it be that he was waiting for a successor to appear? Lin Feng could not help but ask. He pointed at himself and continued, Look at me. I'm handsome, young, promising, upright, talented, and calm. Don't you think that I'm the most suitable successor to the great emperor? I feel that these treasures are all mine. Let me refine the reincarnation pagoda. Old monster Mo rolled his eyes and said, Don't be so shameless, all right? Scram as far away as you can. Whoosh. Old monster Mo waved his right hand and threw Lin Feng out of the pagoda. F***ck, You're chasing me away after using me? You can't be so shameless. Lin Feng could not help but curse. However, old monster Mo did not appear again. Lin Feng asked for a snub, so he left. He had helped old monster Mo a little and received an immortal stone in return. Lin Feng was very satisfied. After returning to the barren mountain, Lord Tortoise looked at Lin Feng and said, "Did old monster Mo summon you?" Lin Feng nodded and said, "He asked me to help him suppress the undying reincarnation flame." He entered the space where the undying reincarnation flame was suppressed to retrieve something. However, Senior Mo did not tell me what he retrieved. Hearing Lin Feng's words, Lord Tortoise nodded and said, "All right, you can go and rest." Lin Feng acknowledged and returned to his residence to rest. He began to adjust his state of mind. This was because Lin Feng planned to refine the Immortal Origin Stone he had obtained from Old Monster Mo. Immortal Origin Stones were the highest grade of origin crystals. They contained immortal origin energy, and had a huge effect on a cultivator's cultivation. Currently, Lin Feng's cultivation was at early stage 7th heavenly layer True God. As he gradually refined and absorbed the energy within the Immortal Origin Stone, Lin Feng's cultivation also began to rise. Soon, it reached mid-stage 7th heavenly layer. Chapter 2295. Soon the news spread. The heavenly flame that appeared was the 8th-ranked God-devouring black flame. As for the young man, he had mastered the God-devouring black flame. His origin was very mysterious, and he was known as the son of the heavenly demon emperor. Many people were shaken by this. The heavenly demon emperor was an extraordinary existence. He was an expert from the Desolation era and came from the heavenly demon clan. The heavenly demon clan was one of the strongest clans among the demon clans. They possessed heaven-defying talent. Not to mention the demon race, even among all the races in the universe, this race was one of the most powerful races. Back in the day, the heavenly demon emperor reigned supreme in his era and was nearly invincible. He had left behind countless legends in the dazzling Desolation era. Later on, the heavenly demon emperor passed away for unknown reasons, and the heavenly demon clan vanished without a trace. Many people guessed that the heavenly demon clan might have encountered some unforeseen event. Who would have thought that after countless years, the heavenly demon emperor's son would be born? The heavenly demon emperor's son's talent must be heaven-defying in this era. The heavenly demon emperor is someone who has slaughtered immortals. No one knows how strong his bloodline is. Now that his son has been born and inherited the strongest bloodline in the world, one can imagine how strong the heavenly demon emperor's son is. He must be a supreme existence among the younger generation. I'm afraid many of the older generation won't be a match for him. Many people were discussing the heavenly demon emperor's son. Not long after the heavenly demon emperor's son was born, another powerful existence was born. It was said that it was a young girl who looked to be only 13 or 14 years old. She went out alone. Someone wanted to attack her, but she easily killed them. The other party's accomplices gathered over 1,000 experts to capture the mysterious girl. There was no lack of top experts among them. There were even 2 giant gods among them. However, so many experts were easily killed by the girl. You dare to provoke the daughter of the Devil Emperor? Are you tired of living? The girl's voice resounded through the forest, shocking and moving many of the spectators. A blood-marked demon! An old cultivator recognized the girl's identity. Blood-marked demons were an extremely ancient clan. It was said that this race was even more ancient than the Heaven Devil race. The blood-striped demons had a blood-red rune between their eyebrows. This was the symbol of the blood-striped demons, and the most terrifying part of them. It was said that the blood-colored rune contained the most terrifying power. As long as the rune lightly swept across it, it would be destroyed. The void collapsed in an instant. Heaven and earth were destroyed in an instant. The power was so strong that it was shocking. The blood-marked demon clan was a clan that had disappeared over the years. Now a young woman from the blood-marked demon clan had appeared, and she claimed to be the daughter of a great emperor. I remember now. 10 years ago, Someone dug out a piece of stone from the ancestral land of the blood-marked demon clan. There was a little girl sealed in the stone. Later, someone wanted to cut the stone open, but the stone ran away. Could it be that the girl in front of him was the little girl from back then? She broke through the stone and walked out, a cultivator said. I remember that too. Now, it seems that the girl might be the little girl from back then. I didn't expect her to become so powerful in just a few years, someone said with a sigh. The Bloodmarked Demon Clan is a clan that existed before the Primordial Era. Back then, some of the peak demon emperors of the demon clan were strong enough to fight against immortals. Could this girl's father be a demon emperor of that level? Who knows? Countless years have passed. It's hard to find out. Many people were talking about the daughter of a demon emperor. Now that the prodigy ranking was about to begin, many peak experts of the younger generation had appeared in the 9 prefectures. This made many people very excited. Because with the appearance of these top experts among the younger generation, the battle for the prodigy list would be even more intense and exciting. Have you heard? Someone found a sacred stone at the shore of the East Sea. The sacred stone absorbed the essence of heaven and earth and the spiritual energy of the sun and moon. It seems to have given birth to a sacred fetus. Many people have gone to fight for the sacred fetus. If they can refine the sacred fetus into an avatar, it will be amazing. What? It gave birth to a sacred fetus? That's unbelievable. Let's go and take a look. Many cultivators went to the shore of the East Sea to see the sacred fetus. At the shore of the East Sea, there was an immortal stone on a reef that faced the sea. It was that immortal stone that gave birth to the sacred fetus. Previously, the immortal stone was surrounded by a huge rock. Therefore, the people who passed by didn't notice anything special about it. However, some time ago, sacred light soared into the sky. The rock cracked open. The immortal stone was revealed. Countless cultivators rushed over and started a crazy fight for the immortal stone. Rivers of blood flowed in this place. No one noticed that the essence of the blood that flowed out was quietly absorbed by the immortal stone. The cultivators fought for 3 days and 3 nights. The immortal stone absorbed the essence of the blood for 3 days and 3 nights. Crack! Crack! Finally, the immortal stone seemed to have absorbed enough essence of the blood and began to crack. When they heard this voice, the cultivators who were fighting stopped and looked towards the immortal stone. Crack! Crack! The immortal stone cracked more and more violently. Not long after, the immortal stone shattered. A man stepped out. That man was surrounded by cyan light. The green energy eventually turned into a green robe that covered the man's body. The sacred fetus has been born. Many people cried out in surprise. Then, they were filled with unwillingness. If they had obtained the sacred fetus before, they might have refined the sacred fetus into their external incarnation. But now, the sacred fetus had been born. They could no longer refine it into an external incarnation. Since I can't refine it into an external incarnation, I'll kill the soul of the sacred fetus today and refine it into a sacred fetus puppet. An expert walked over from afar. The aura that emanated from the expert's body was simply suffocating. Thousand Hands Devil Monarch, Chuwuming! Someone recognized the expert. He was a Devil Dao expert at the 5th celestial stage of the giant god realm. Seeing him make a move, the people who wanted to attack stopped. They didn't dare to fight with Chuwuming for the prey. Die! Chuwuming sent a palm strike toward the man who had transformed into the sacred fetus. The eyes of the man turned cold. He raised his right hand and gently slashed across the void. A sword chi flew out. Puff! With a ripping sound, Chuwuming, a 5th celestial stage expert, was cleaved in half. Everyone looked at the man who had transformed into the sacred fetus in shock. He had killed a 5th celestial stage expert with a single move. Wasn't that too terrifying? Remember my name. I am Qing Emperor, the sacred fetus said with an indifferent expression. Qing Emperor. Many people muttered this name. They felt their hearts tremble. Countless years ago, there was an existence called Qing Emperor who had swept through the world and was invincible. He was an expert of the devil race. Rumor had it that Qing Emperor had even killed the living beings in the Black Fog. Since the fall of Qing Emperor, there was no Qing Emperor in the world. No one dared to call themselves Qing Emperor. But countless years had passed. The man who had been born from the sacred fetus actually called himself Qing Emperor. Where did he get the courage to call himself Qing Emperor? Or perhaps, there was another possibility. Was he the reincarnation of the dead Qing Emperor? Chapter 2296. In the half a year before the prodigy ranking, the entire 9 states was bustling with activity. Firstly, it was because the prodigy ranking had attracted a lot of attention. Secondly, it was because of the drastic changes in the world. Many powerful existences sealed in stone had come out. Some of the creatures born from the stones had also come out. There were many people like the son of the heavenly demon emperor, the little witch, and the Qing emperor. The prodigy ranking would definitely be unprecedentedly intense. This is the 3000th era after the beginning of this era, also known as the Age of Destruction. When this era ends, all the worlds will be destroyed. Only a few lucky ones will be able to survive. The creatures that were sealed in the past will sense the changes in the world and come out one after another. In fact, not only the younger generation of cultivators, but the older generation of cultivators sealed in stone will also choose to awaken in this era. The prodigy ranking is already extremely intense. With the appearance of these creatures, there will be even more excitement. When the time comes, the prodigy ranking will be unprecedentedly intense. It's not just the prodigy ranking. The sovereign ranking is about to begin. It'll definitely be exciting. Countless cultivators were talking about the prodigy ranking, the sovereign ranking, and the experts who had broken the seals and come out. It didn't matter if they were the younger generation, the older generation, or the younger generation. They had all reappeared in front of the world. Any one of them was enough to cause a huge uproar. Lin Feng finally came out of seclusion after half a year. During this period of seclusion, he had sorted out his various divine abilities and gained a clearer understanding of the Tao. Although he hadn't made a breakthrough in his realm, his strength had greatly increased. The disciples participating in the prodigy ranking were about to set off. The prodigy ranking would be held in the Holy Ground realm of the Holy Ground Sea. The Holy Ground Sea was located in the western part of the 9 states. It was a vast sea that stretched as far as the eye could see. It was extremely dangerous and famous because of the existence of the true Holy Ground world. The true Holy Ground world was an extremely dangerous place. It was divided into 2 parts. The first part was called the Original Ruins world. This was where the prodigy ranking would be held. The second place was called the Sky Ruin world. This was where the Sovereign Leaderboard battle took place. The Original Ruins realm and the Sky Ruins realm were connected, but there were powerful laws that separated the 2 places. Therefore, it was impossible to travel freely between these 2 places. Whether it was the Original Ruins realm or the Sky Ruins realm, there were many opportunities. The Genius Roll battle was a large group of people entering the Original Ruins realm to search for the Dragon Chi. Draconic Chi. It was a special kind of energy produced in the Yuan-Chi realm. The dragon energy was very important. In order to enter the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one had to collect enough Dragon Chi. The Heaven's Chosen Dojo had a total of 5 levels of heaven. There were many opportunities in each Heaven's Chosen Dojo. If one wanted to obtain the opportunity inside, they would have to spend enough dragon energy to exchange for it. Therefore, the importance of the dragon energy was evident. To enter the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one needed to spend dragon energy. To obtain the opportunities within the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one also needed to spend dragon energy. Therefore, the most important thing to do after entering the Original Ruins realm was to collect Draconic Chi. Draconic Chi was precious, and it was not easy to obtain it. Of course, there were countless opportunities in the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. In fact, there were also many opportunities outside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. The opportunities outside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo did not need to consume dragon energy. However, the most heaven-defying opportunities were inside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. So many people were keen to participate in the Genius Roll battle. Firstly, it was because of the 9 states paradise. Secondly, it was because of the various opportunities in the original ruins realm. Cultivators who participated in the genius roll battle had to be less than 1,000 years old. For cultivators who had a lifespan of hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years, 1,000 years of lifespan passed in the blink of an eye. Therefore, many people were unable to participate in the Heaven's Pride List battle. Of course, there were also many experts of suitable age who were not interested in participating in the Heaven's Pride List battle. Such people would not participate in the Heaven's Pride List battle. As for the young cultivators who walked out of the stone materials, their age was fixed at the moment they were sealed by the stone materials. As long as they were under 1,000 years old when they were sealed, they could participate in the genius roll battle after they were born. The life of the living beings born in the immortal stones, sacred stones, and other stones was also calculated from the moment they broke out of the stone. As long as they were under 1,000 years old, they could participate in the genius roll battle as usual. There were about 2,000 young cultivators from the Reincarnation Immortal sect participating in the genius roll battle this time. However, Lin Feng did not know many of these disciples. For example, young Master Hanzhan, young Master Mingwei, and the others were in the previous genius roll battle. 800 years had passed. Their lifespan had exceeded 1,000 years. Therefore, they could no longer participate in the new genius roll battle. Lin Feng boarded the ancient ship and waited for it to depart to the original ruins realm. Why can I go up, but not my donkey? Is there a rule that says I can't bring my pet beast? Curses could be heard from below. It attracted the attention of many people. Ahaha! Ahaha! A fatso started arguing with a few disciples who were in charge of maintaining order on the ancient ship. Little Donkey, on the other hand, started yelling from the side. The leader of the disciples said in a low voice, "Junior brother, we didn't say you can't bring your pet beast. We're saying that your pet beast must be kept in your imperial beast pouch or other Dharma treasures. The ancient ship is where the disciples, deacons, elders, and even the sect's patriarchs rest. You can't let your pet wander around," Fatso said. "My pet is very obedient. It won't wander around. Hurry up and let us go up. Otherwise, I'll let you have a taste of my punch bag-sized fist." The faces of the few disciples sank. Just as they were about to throw the troublemaker out, a voice came from the ancient ship. "Hey, hey, hey! Hey! Senior brothers, please make an exception. I know Little Donkey quite well. It's very obedient, and won't disturb the rest of the sect's cultivators." Everyone turned to look at the person who spoke. When they saw that the person who spoke was actually Lin Feng, the disciples revealed looks of awe. Lin Feng didn't have a good reputation in the sect. Many people still secretly slandered Lin Feng as the scum of the sect. But who didn't know Lin Feng's strength? Who didn't know? They still had to give face to Lin Feng. So it's Junior Brother Lin. Since Junior Brother Lin has stepped forward, we'll make an exception this time, the leader of the disciples said. "Brother Donkey, let's go up," Fatso said with a grin. "Ahaha! Ahaha!" Little Donkey yelled twice, then boarded the ancient ship to the original ruins realm with Fatso. Chapter 2297. Where the hell have you been all this time? Lin Feng asked Fatso. Fatso said mysteriously, "Some time ago, I accidentally came across a treasure map. Then I went to dig for treasures with Brother Donkey. Guess what we found?" Fatso said mysteriously. His eyes were still looking around cautiously. Said Lin Feng. "Could it be that you really found some rare treasures?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "Yes, we really found something good." Fatso grinned. "What is it? Take it out and let me see," Lin Feng said. Fatso took out a black metal ball. The black metal ball was about the size of a fist. Lin Feng held it in his hand and carefully observed it, but he could not find anything special about it. "What is this?" Lin Feng shook it forcefully. Fatso's face turned pale. He quickly grabbed Lin Feng's hand and said, "Brother, don't shake it like that. If it explodes, all of us will die. Lin Feng was shocked and asked, What is this thing? Why is it so terrifying? Fatso said, This is called the Chaos Lightning Ball. It was refined by ancient alchemists. Its destructive power is incomparably terrifying. It is said that a Chaos Lightning Ball of this size can kill a true dragon. Damn, it's so powerful! Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. The might of the Chaos Lightning Ball shocked even him. How many of these do you have? Lin Feng asked. Fatso looked warily at Lin Feng and asked, Why are you asking? Lin Feng put his arm around Fatso's shoulder and said with a smile, Aren't we good brothers? Yes. Fatso nodded. Shouldn't good brothers share blessings and misfortunes together? Lin Feng asked with a smile. Yes. Fatso nodded again. Then shouldn't you share the Chaos Primordial Thunderball with your best friend? Lin Feng smiled in a resplendent way. Fatso asked, What was your first question again? Lin Feng asked. Aren't we good brothers? Fatso said. No. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. I'll buy your primal Chaos Lightning Balls, alright? Fatso revealed a wretched smile and said, If you help me, big brother, with a favor, I'll give you 10 Chaos Lightning Balls. What is it? Tell me, said Lin Feng. Do you remember that female disciple, Xia Shilo? Fatso asked. Lin Feng shook his head and said, Who's that woman? I don't know her name, but I don't know her name. Why don't I remember her? Fatso said, It's that time when I followed you to Xia Shuryan Palace, and you carried Xia Shuryan, Baiyusen, and Nangong Qiming back to the Barren Mountain. Weren't we blocked by a group of female disciples from Shuryan Palace? That petite and adorable female disciple who pointed a sword at me. She was Xia Shilo, Xia Shuryan's cousin. Her? That tigress. Lin Feng slapped his forehead as he recalled that female disciple. She had a fiery temper, but of course, she was also quite good-looking. Yes, that's her. I wanted to carry her back to be my wife, but that girl didn't care about me at all. Help Big Brother deal with her. Big Brother's future happiness depends on you. Fatso looked pitifully at Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, How can I help you deal with her? I'm not familiar with her. Fatso said, You're familiar with Xia Shuryan. She's Xia Shuryan's cousin. Get Xia Shuryan to matchmake the two of us. Lin Feng said, That's not a problem. Leave it to me. The fat man hugged Lin Feng and gave him 10 balls of primal chaos lightning. He said, You have to be careful. Don't blow yourself up. Don't blow other people up. Don't blow yourself up first. Don't worry, there won't be any problems, Lin Feng said. 2 hours later, the Sex teleportation array opened. The ancient ship soared into the sky and flew towards the teleportation array. Then, he disappeared into the teleportation array. Whoosh! It disappeared without a trace. The ancient ship flew through a space-time wormhole that led directly to Coiling Dragon Island in the Holy Ground Sea. Coiling Dragon Island was a famous power in the Holy Ground Sea. It was an island controlled by the Heavenly Dragon Clan. There weren't many members of the Heavenly Dragon Clan left. The Heavenly Dragon Patriarch that Lin Feng had met earlier was the clan's master. He was also the Red World Fairy's best friend. On this day, Lin Feng, Fatso, and Brother Donkey were eating in a restaurant. A male disciple walked over. Senior Brother Lin! The disciple bowed to Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at the disciple. He didn't know him, so he asked, Junior brother, there's no need to be so polite. Why are you looking for me? The disciple said, It's like this. A friend of mine wants to get to know you. Is that okay? Your friend? Lin Feng looked at the disciple in surprise. The male disciple pointed at a table not far away. There were more than 10 disciples around the table, both male and female. They were all participating in the genius rankings. The disciple pointed at a white-robed female disciple. The female disciple had a graceful figure and fair skin. Her palm-sized face was exquisite and beautiful, and her big, watery eyes were very attractive. She had a delicate temperament. That female disciple is Chu Jiashuan, right? She's ranked 12th in the sect. In terms of beauty, she's not inferior to the top 10 fairies. The only thing she can't compare to them in is her cultivation, Fatso said. Fatso only wanted to bring back a few fairies as his wives. Thus, he had done a lot of research on the female disciples. Fatso was very familiar with the beautiful female disciples in the sect. There wasn't a single one that he didn't know. The male disciple said, "The reason why Junior Sister Chu's cultivation is inferior to the top 10 fairies is because Junior Sister Chu's cultivation time is much shorter. Junior Sister Chu's talent isn't inferior to the top 10 fairies. It's good to be handsome. To have such beautiful girls throwing themselves at you," Fatso said sourly. "Ahaha! Ahaha!" Brother Donkey shouted at the side. Fatso patted Brother Donkey's head and said, "Let's continue relying on each other." Fatso had such a weird personality. Lin Feng was used to it and ignored Fatso. He looked at the male disciple and said, "If you need any help in the future, Junior Sister Chu is always welcome to find me. We still have some things to do here, so we won't stay here any longer. Junior brother, please send my regards to Junior Sister Chu." When the male disciple heard Lin Feng, he understood what Lin Feng meant. Lin Feng didn't intend to have any further contact with Chu Jiashuan, that's why he said that. Chapter 2298. Fuck, such a beautiful girl is throwing herself at you, and you don't even want her? What are you thinking? Fatso said enviously. Big Brother Donkey said. Big Brother Feng has walked through a field of flowers, but not a single leaf has touched him. Lin Feng smiled and said, Big Brother Donkey knows me best. Ahaha! Ahaha! Little Donkey made two strange sounds and said, Of course, I'm Big Brother Feng's best friend. Fatty said, Oh heavens, oh earth, please give me a beautiful fairy sister to pursue me. I'm willing to pay the price of a beautiful girl that little Lin Feng will never be able to get in his life in exchange for my wish to come true. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This damn Fatso was truly shameless. He kicked Fatso a dozen meters away. Why did you kick me? Fatso asked while rubbing his butt. I've been practicing this but flattening wild goose landing style recently. I'll use you to test its power. What do you think? Lin Feng said with a half smile. Fatso said, Lord Fatty won't lower himself to your level. If Lord Fatty really wants to fight you, even 10 of you together won't be a match for Lord Fatty. Fatso bragged a little before lying down on the bed. Lin Feng said, How can you not get fat when you lie down after eating? What do you know? Lord Fatty's cultivation technique is very special. As long as I lie down and sleep, my cultivation will continue to soar. Fatso said. There's such a cultivation technique? Lin Feng looked at Fatso in surprise. Fatso said, Of course. Back then, I was lazy, so I searched many places before I found this cultivation technique. I have to say, this cultivation technique is tailor-made for Lord Fatty. As soon as the Fatty finished speaking, he fell into a deep sleep. This guy can really fall asleep just like that. Furthermore, while he was sleeping, his cultivation had also increased. Who knew how many people were envious and jealous of this kind of cultivation method? Lin Feng spent most of his time cultivating. After that, he saw Chu Jiashuan a few times. Every time, Chu Jiashuan looked at Lin Feng with hidden bitterness. Her big, watery eyes looked so delicate and pitiful. People who didn't know better would think that Lin Feng had abandoned her. Lin Feng's hair stood on end when he saw Chu Jiashuan's gaze. After spending a month in the space-time wormhole, the ancient ship finally arrived at Coiling Dragon Island. The Coiling Dragon Island was bustling with people. Many young cultivators who were participating in the prodigy ranking would come to the Coiling Dragon Island. For example, many large forces would send many experts to escort their disciples. Therefore, the Coiling Dragon Island was incomparably lively. Because there was still a month before the prodigy roll contest, it would take about 20 days to travel from Coiling Dragon Island to the Yuanxi realm. Therefore, they decided to rest on Coiling Dragon Island. The Reincarnation Immortal sect had a huge mansion on Coiling Dragon Island. In fact, many major forces had bought properties on Coiling Dragon Island so that the cultivators participating in the Heaven's Chosen rankings and the Sovereign rankings could have a quiet and comfortable place to rest. The leader of the Reincarnation Immortal sect was Wu Yong. Wu Yong was the supreme elder of the Reincarnation Immortal sect. He was in the giant god realm and was in charge of everyone's safety. They entered the mansion of the Reincarnation Immortal sect on Coiling Dragon Island. Wu Yong said, "We'll be resting on Coiling Dragon Island for about 10 days. During this time, you can do whatever you want. But remember, don't cause any trouble when you're outside." "Yes." The disciples of the Reincarnation Immortal sect answered immediately. Wu Yong and the other higher-ups went to rest. Then, someone arranged accommodations for the disciples of the Reincarnation Immortal sect. "We'll eat wherever we go. I heard that the Holy Ground Ocean is rich in sea monsters. Many restaurants on Coiling Dragon Island specialize in the Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast. Shall we try it?" Fatso said with a smile. Lin Feng was also a foodie. His eyes lit up when he heard that there would be a special feast. The two of them and Little Donkey left their accommodations together. Then, they found the most famous restaurant. This restaurant was called the Origin Heaven Restaurant. It was said that a character was taken from the original Ruins world and the Sky Ruins world. The current Origin Heaven Restaurant was formed. The Origin Heaven Restaurant was very lively. When Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey arrived, it was almost full. There was no need to think about the private rooms. All the private rooms had been booked. Fortunately, Lin Feng and the others were lucky. A guest sitting by the window left after finishing his meal. Fatso asked the waiter to tidy up the table. Then, she sat with Lin Feng. "Young masters, what would you like to order?" the waiter asked. Fatso said, "I heard that the specialty here is the Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast. What are the Holy Ground Ocean Monsters?" Fatso could not help but ask. The waiter said, "The Holy Ground Ocean Monsters are ferocious beasts in the sea. These beasts are very strange. They look like octopuses, squid, and squid. Their meat is smooth and delicious. They can be made into soups, stir-fried, stewed, or even barbecued. There are dozens of ways to eat them." Fatso was almost drooling. He hurriedly said, "The Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast, and the best wine. Quickly bring it up." "All right, please wait for a moment, young masters." The waiter quickly went to prepare the food. Soon, the delicacies were served one after another. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey immediately began to eat. Originally, their table was ordinary and wouldn't attract too much attention. However, because of Little Donkey, their table attracted a lot of attention. Little Donkey did not eat grass. He only ate meat. Not only did he eat meat, but he also drank wine. Many people were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. At this moment, a dozen cultivators walked up. They were originally going to the private rooms upstairs. One of them saw the situation at Lin Feng's table and said with a smile, "Humans, beasts, don't separate tables. Guess what it is? Haha, this is interesting. I guess it's beasts. Am I right?" A young master said with a smile. "Brother Dong, your meaning is too obvious. It's obviously wrong," another young master said with a smile. The young master called Brother Dong said with a smile, "What is Brother Nalin's opinion?" "I guess it's a bastard." The young master with the surname Nalin said with a smile. "Bastard, bastard, human and beast. Ha 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 ha, Brother Nalin, you're really something. This bastard guessed it well." The group of people burst into laughter. The young master Nalin looked at the young master who came up with the question and asked, "Brother Fan, I wonder if my guess is correct? Brother Nalin is really quick-witted. I'm impressed." The cultivator with the surname Fan said with a smile. The group was about to head upstairs. Fatso sneered and said, "Stop. Did Lord Fatty allow you to leave?" If they didn't compensate 10 times the amount in front of everyone, they would lose all their reputation. "Do it!" The group of young masters shouted loudly and directly pounced on Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. "Brother Donkey, it's up to you!" Fatso shouted. "Ahaha! Ahaha!" After Little Donkey received the order, he immediately rushed out with his butt facing the group of people. Then, a pff sound was heard. Seeing this scene, Fatso quickly covered her mouth. Lin Feng, on the other hand, held his breath. Brother Donkey used a smelly attack. The group of young masters who were originally pouncing over fiercely all had a drastic change in expression. It was as if they were poisoned and their eyes turned white. The surrounding diners also covered their noses. Many of them even began to retch. They had such a big reaction even though they were relatively far away, let alone the group of young masters who were hit by Brother Donkey's attack. It was already good enough that they didn't die from Brother Donkey's smelly attack. "I'll kick you to death!" Brother Donkey shouted and raised his hooves to kick the group of young masters. Bang, 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 a series of violent collisions could be heard. The young masters were sent flying by Brother Donkey's kicks. Crack, crack. The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Many of them had their bones broken by Brother Donkey's kicks. They fell to the ground and wailed. "Damn, this donkey's fart smell is still lingering. I'm going to die from the smell. Let's leave." Many of them wailed and directly jumped out of the windows. "We're from the Middle Sage Continent Sku clan. You humiliated us like this today. This matter won't end here," the group of young masters said viciously. Brother Donkey said, "A bunch of trash dare to make a fuss here. You're courting death. Do you believe that Brother Donkey won't trample you to death right now?" Fatso said. "Brother Donkey, there's no need to bicker with this group of trash. Otherwise, they'll dirty your hooves." "Hee hee. I like that," Brother Donkey said proudly. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey also jumped out of the window and left. The three of them didn't pay the bill. There were many people like Lin Feng and the others who didn't pay the bill. In any case, the unlucky ones would pay for them. Boom! At that moment, a series of violent fluctuations came from the sea, alarming many people. "There's a battle outside. I heard that the Sky Demon Emperor's son is fighting a six-eared macaque." "What? The Sky Demon Emperor's son? That's a big deal. I heard that he was born not long ago. His cultivation is heaven-defying. Six-eared macaques are also a heaven-defying race. Didn't they go extinct a long time ago? I can't believe that a six-eared macaque is still alive. This is unbelievable. Come, let's go take a look. I wonder what the result of this battle will be." The group of people discussed animatedly, and then quickly rushed outside. Lin Feng said, "Let's go take a look as well." Swoosh! He, Fatso, and Little Donkey all flew outside. Soon, they arrived outside Coiling Dragon Island. The first thing that came into view was a spirit monkey that was entirely golden in color. The spirit monkey held a stone rod in its hand and was engaged in a great battle with a young master who was wearing a golden battle robe. The young man was surrounded by an emperor's aura. He looked like a young holy emperor. His aura was terrifying and powerful. "Huh! Why does the Sky Demon Emperor's son give me a familiar feeling?" Lin Feng couldn't help but wonder. In his memory, he didn't remember the Sky Demon Emperor's son. However, the familiar feeling was very strong. Suddenly, the four types of skyfire in Lin Feng's body emitted violent fluctuations. The four types of skyfire had sensed the existence of another type of skyfire. That type of skyfire should be very high level, because the fluctuations emitted by the four types of skyfire contained a sense of panic and uneasiness. At the same time, the Sky Demon Emperor's son emitted the aura of another skyfire. When Lin Feng sensed the skyfire's aura, he narrowed his eyes. "It's him!" Lin Feng looked at the Sky Demon Emperor's son. When he realized who that person was, he couldn't help but be shocked. "P.S. I'm not feeling well, so my updates are a bit slow." Chapter 2300. Lin Feng thought of the black flames devouring fire. It was ranked 8th among the 72 types of heavenly fire. It was exceptionally heaven-defying and was located in the fallen god cliff. Lin Feng had wanted to refine this heavenly fire, but it was protected by a powerful golden crow. Hence, he was unable to refine it. Lin Feng remembered it clearly. The black flames devouring fire had wrapped around a mysterious beast egg. The origin of the beast egg was mysterious. Now, it seemed like it belonged to the son of the heavenly demon king. Lin Feng wanted to refine the black flames devouring fire when he was stronger. However, when he returned from the outer realm and returned to the fallen god cliff, the black flames devouring fire was nowhere to be found. Now that he thought about it, the heavenly demon king's son must have been born and controlled the black flames devouring fire. Lin Feng retracted the aura of the 4 types of heavenly fire. The black flames devouring fire's connection to the 4 types of heavenly fire disappeared. It also became silent. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he watched the battle. The six-eared macaque's cultivation was very strong. The magic treasure in his hand resembled the legendary Rui Jingu Bang that the great sage, Heaven's Equal, wielded. The Rui Jingu Bang was a powerful killing weapon. The Rui Jingu Bang was one of the top 10 killing weapons of the Absolute Beginning era. It was only second to the legendary Nine-Toothed Golden Rake. The Rui Jingu Bang was later obtained by the great sage, Heaven's Equal. The power of this treasure was fully unleashed. In the hands of the great sage, Heaven's Equal, the Rui Jingu Bang was an invincible killing weapon. The ranking of these ancient weapons was also related to their owners. No matter how powerful a weapon was, if it did not find a suitable owner, it would be covered in dust. It would not be able to unleash its full power. Naturally, it would be difficult for it to make a name for itself. However, if it fell into the hands of a suitable owner, these ancient weapons would become famous. Of course, although the six-eared macaque stone staff was very similar to the Rui Jingu Bang, it was definitely not a treasure like the Rui Jingu Bang. However, even if it was not the Rui Jingu Bang, the stone staff's power was unparalleled. The six-eared macaque swung its stone staff, shattering the very fabric of space itself. The weapon in the Sky Demon Emperor's son's hand was a blood-red saber with a dragon's head. The weapon was called the Blood Dragon Saber. It was a treasure passed down by the Heavenly Demon Emperor. It was said that the Heavenly Demon Emperor had killed a total of 99 blood dragons to refine this supreme treasure. Then, he used the Blood Dragon's soul essence to refine this treasure, turning it into an extremely terrifying killing weapon. The Heavenly Demon Emperor wanted to forge this treasure into an ancient killing weapon. However, before this treasure could be upgraded to an ancient killing weapon, the Heavenly Demon Emperor had already fallen. However, even though it was not at the level of an ancient killing weapon, it was still unimaginably powerful. Clang! Six-eared macaque swung his stone staff at Sky Demon King's son, and Sky Demon King's son swung his blood-red dragon knife at six-eared macaque. Their attacks collided. Immediately, a muffled clanging sound rang out. It was so loud that even the deaf could hear it. Even the surrounding void was shattered by the impact. The two of them were also forced to retreat. The fatty said, "Both of them are very powerful. Their bodies each contain 2 extremely terrifying forces. It's just that the 2 of them didn't circulate the terrifying forces dormant in their bodies," Lin Feng said. "It must be the power of their ancestral blood after the bloodline awakening. Of course, it could also be the power sealed within their bodies by the elites of their race. Both the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son and six-eared macaque are not to be trifled with. I don't think there will be a winner in this battle," Fatso said. Lin Feng pointed to a spot in the distance. There stood an old man, surrounded by divine fire. The old man's aura was very familiar to Lin Feng. He was reminded of the ancient golden raven that guarded the egg. That old man should be the golden crow divine bird's transformation, Lin Feng said. If that old man doesn't make a move, this battle will end in a draw. However, if he does, six-eared macaque will most likely be killed. Dao Protector. Fatso frowned when he saw the old man. There were many types of guardians. The first type was the guardian of a sect or family. Guardians of sects or families rarely made a move. In fact, they rarely appeared before the eyes of the world. The number of people who knew of their existence could be counted on one hand. Only when the sect clan was in danger would these Tao protectors make a move. The second type of guardian was the guardian of some of the more important members of the sect or family's younger generation. For example, the guardian of the sect or family leader's son, or the guardian of some of the more talented disciples. The reason why these forces would send Tao protectors to protect these juniors was because they were worried that these juniors would be killed before they could mature. Killing geniuses was a common occurrence in the world of cultivators. Therefore, they had to be extra vigilant. The one thing all guardians had in common was that they were very powerful. The guardian of the heavenly demon emperor's son was an ancient golden raven. Its cultivation was unfathomable. Six-eared macaque did not seem to have a guardian by his side. Therefore, if the guardian of the heavenly demon emperor's son were to make a move, six-eared macaque would be in big trouble. "I wonder why the two of them are fighting each other?" someone asked curiously. They did not understand why the two of them were fighting each other. The father of the heavenly demon emperor's son once dominated the world. Back then, when he reached immortality, he killed a six-eared macaque expert. In the end, he succeeded. "This is a feud between the two races," a cultivator said. "So there's a relationship like that. No wonder they're fighting each other to the death. The six-eared macaque expert killed by the heavenly demon emperor must be the ancestor of this six-eared macaque." However, he did not know how close the blood relationship between them was. If this six-eared macaque is also a creature that came out of the stone, then this six-eared macaque might be directly related to the six-eared macaque that was killed. Many people were discussing the matter. Since there was such a deep grudge between the two sides, it was only natural that they would fight each other to the death. "So, you're that little bastard. I remember now. Back then, that old monkey had a grandson. Later, my father killed that old monkey and wiped out the six-eared macaques, but I didn't see that little monkey. Since you're so hostile to me, it seems like that little monkey is you, right?" The heavenly demon emperor's son looked at six-eared macaque with an arrogant expression. His arrogant demeanor came from deep within his bones. He did not think much of the six-eared macaque. Chapter 2301. The six-eared macaques used to be a very famous race. They were known as the Psychic Tribe. What was the Psychic Tribe? Simply put, the first race to gain sentience was the Psychic Tribe. The six-eared macaques were the first to gain sentience. They were extremely intelligent, and were said to be proficient in the art of transformation and learning. The six-eared macaque's greatest power was their ability to learn other people's techniques. No matter how powerful a technique was, the six-eared macaques would be able to figure out how powerful it was after watching it a few times. Then, they would be able to master it. Lin Feng did not expect the six-eared macaques to encounter such a disaster. The Celestial Demon King was an ancient and terrifying expert. Countless years had passed, and there were still many legends about the Celestial Demon King. Who would have thought that the six-eared macaques had been destroyed by him? When your father was young, he suffered from chi deviation during his cultivation. All of his meridians were broken, and he was abandoned by the heavenly demon tribe. He was severely injured and on the verge of death. It was my grandfather who happened to pass by and saw your father. He saved him and searched for all the divine materials in the world to heal your father's injuries. He taught your father divine abilities. But your father killed my grandfather and wiped out the entire six-eared macaque tribe. This grudge cannot be washed away even if the four seas are washed away." The six-eared macaque's eyes were filled with endless killing intent. Many people were shocked. They did not expect such an unbelievable turn of events. Did that mean that the Celestial Demon King was the kind of person who repaid kindness with enmity? The hatred between the two sides was so deep that it would not end until one of them was dead. "My father killed the demon in his heart in order to improve himself. What's wrong with that?" The Celestial Demon King's son looked indifferent. In the past, the Celestial Demon King wanted to prove his Tao, and he chose to kill his own teacher. The six-eared macaque and the Celestial Demon King fought. Because of his old age, he could not win and was killed by the celestial demon king. Killing one's teacher to prove one's Tao was shameful, but it was not uncommon in the world of cultivators. Some people believed that their teacher was their demon. With the teacher around, they would always be suppressed. They could not complete the ultimate transformation. So they killed their teacher to prove their Tao. In fact, in the world of cultivators, there was more than just killing one's master to prove one's Tao. There was also killing one's father to prove one's Tao, killing one's mother to prove one's Tao, killing one's brothers and sisters to prove one's Tao, killing one's family to prove one's Tao, killing one's wife to prove one's Tao, and so on. Xiuzhou were merciless. Many people wanted to go further on the path of cultivation. There was no one they couldn't kill. The heavenly demon emperor walked the path of killing his master to prove his Tao. After killing his master, the heavenly demon emperor, he knew how powerful the six-eared macaques were. This clan could give birth to a peerless expert at any time. As such, in order to prevent future troubles, Sky Evil King had killed the entire six-eared macaque because he was worried that the next generation of six-eared macaques would seek revenge. But man proposes, God disposes. In the end, the six-eared macaque race was still alive. Many years ago, this little six-eared macaque was born from the mountain of flowers and fruits. As his cultivation base continued to rise, his bloodline continued to awaken, and many of his memories returned. He also learned about the tragic events that had happened to the six-eared macaque family. Countless years had passed and the heavenly demon emperor had long since passed away. But the heavenly demon emperor's son did not die. After tens of thousands of years, the two sides met again. This battle was the continuation of the War of the Races. The six-eared macaque and the heavenly demon emperor's son were locked in battle. Both sides were very strong, and it would not be easy to defeat the other. More and more people came to watch the battle. Clearly, this battle had attracted a lot of attention. There were even peerless experts who had appeared in secret to watch the battle. The heavenly demon emperor's son and the six-eared macaque's bloodline were too strong. They could definitely be considered as the pinnacle of the younger generation. The two sides fought for over 1,000 rounds, but there was still no clear victor. At that moment, Lin Feng frowned. He could sense a murderous intent from the Golden Raven. It was clear that the Golden Raven wanted to kill the six-eared macaque. Clang! The six-eared macaque and the heavenly demon emperor's son clashed again. Both sides retreated a few hundred meters. The heavenly demon emperor's son's lips curled into a sinister smile. He shouted coldly, "Old man Jean, kill him!" The old man whom the heavenly demon emperor's son addressed as Old Man Jean was none other than the Golden Raven. The heavenly demon emperor's son was vicious and merciless. He would do anything to achieve his goal. He did not care if he was the one who killed the six-eared macaque. He did not care if others pointed fingers at him. "Yes, young master," Old Man Jean replied, then walked toward the six-eared macaque. "Asking the guardian to kill him? That's too shameless, isn't it? That six-eared macaque is going to be killed this time, right?" Many people began to talk among themselves. They looked at the six-eared macaque with pity. The guardian had made a move against the six-eared macaque. Naturally, no one thought that the six-eared macaque would win. Boom! Old Man Jean slammed his palm toward the six-eared macaque. A giant energy handprint condensed in the void. The energy palm slammed toward the six-eared macaque. A terrifying aura emanated from the energy palm. That aura was enough to shock anyone who saw it. The six-eared macaque swung his stone staff at the palm. Bam! The two sides collided. With a loud crash, the six-eared macaque was sent flying. Barf! In midair, the six-eared macaque spat out a mouthful of blood. The guardian was indeed terrifying. His cultivation base had reached an unfathomable level. The six-eared macaque was strong, but there was still a big gap between him and the guardian. The heavenly demon emperor's son looked on coldly. His lips curled into a sinister smile. It was as if he could already see the six-eared macaque being killed by the guardian. Die! The guardian's voice was cold. Once again, he slammed his palm toward the six-eared macaque. The six-eared macaque could no longer dodge this attack. This battle is about to end. The six-eared macaque is going to be killed. They managed to avoid the annihilation of their race back then, but they can't avoid this one. The six-eared macaque race is going to be wiped out. Many people cried out in shock. Humph! Just as everyone thought that the six-eared macaque was going to be killed, a cold snort rang through the air. A loud rumbling sound could be heard. An earthen yellow palm formed and blasted toward the attack that Elder Jean had conjured. Bam! The attacks from both sides collided. Both sides were annihilated, but no one could do anything to the other. Who are you? How dare you stop the Heavenly Demon Emperor's line? Have you thought about the consequences of offending us? Chapter 2302. Celestial Demon Royal Family? What a joke! This is no longer the era of the Celestial Demon Royal Family. The title of Celestial Demon Royal Family is meaningless now. The expert in the dark sneered. How dare you insult the Celestial Demon Royal Family? The Celestial Demon Royal Son's eyes flashed with killing intent. Junior, do you have the right to speak here? If you weren't the Celestial Demon Royal Son, you would be dead by now if you dared to speak to me in such a tone. The expert in the dark said coldly. The Celestial Demon Royal Son's expression turned even uglier. However, he was very tolerant, and did not say anything else. This Celestial Demon Royal Son is not simple. Many people whispered. The scariest people were not those who were strong but did not know when to stop. The scariest people were those who were strong but knew how to be tolerant. For example, the Celestial Demon Royal Son was strong, talented, and knew how to be tolerant. With such a character, it would be difficult for him not to rise. Very well. The Celestial Demon Royal Family will remember what happened today, Elder Jean said coldly. The expert in the dark did not say anything else. Six-eared macaque looked at the Celestial Demon Royal Son indifferently, then quickly left. Elder Jean and the Celestial Demon Royal Son left quickly as well. However, it was clear that the storm would not be over just like that. Many people were discussing the tragic fate of the six-eared macaques. They were also discussing the Celestial Demon Royal Son's ruthlessness. Even more people were talking about the conflict between the Celestial Demon Royal Son and the six-eared macaque. Today's battle was only the beginning. The grudge between the Celestial Demon Royal Son and the six-eared macaque would not end so easily. After the Genius Rankings begins, there will be a great battle. I'm really looking forward to it. This is a battle between the best of the younger generation. This year's Prodigy Ranking battle will definitely be exciting. Countless people were talking about it. After the commotion ended, everyone dispersed and returned to Coiling Dragon Island. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Brother Donkey also returned. They had thought that the princes who had been beaten up would not be satisfied and would even find someone to deal with them. However, those princes did not appear again. The next day, Fatso came to Lin Feng and said mysteriously, "Brother, I found something good. Let's go take a look." Lin Feng asked. "What is it?" "There's a stone shop on Coiling Dragon Island that specializes in selling stones dug out from the deep sea. I heard that the stone shop is selling a batch of extremely rare stones. It's said that those stones are very evil. Let's go and have a look," Fatso said. "The evil stones you mentioned are the good stuff you were talking about?" Lin Feng asked. "Of course. Look at how many creatures have come out of the stone recently. Maybe there are creatures sealed in the evil stones in the workshop as well. If we can find them, we can imprint them into their bodies before they awaken. Then, we'll be able to obtain an extremely powerful servant," Fatso said. Lin Feng rubbed his chin and said, "It'll be heaven-defying if we can find such an opportunity. Let's go take a look at the stone shop." The two did not stop and headed towards the stone shop with Brother Donkey. There was only one stone shop on Coiling Dragon Island, opened by the Heavenly Dragons. Business was usually good. Some time ago, a heavenly dragon had dived hundreds of thousands of meters into the sea. That was a place where no one dared to go. Even a giant god would find it difficult to dive that deep. However, The heavenly dragons had no problem with that. The heavenly dragons were gods of the water. The sea was unknown and terrifying in the eyes of many, but the sea was like their own backyard to them. Many people went to look at this batch of strange stones. When Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey arrived at the stone shop, they happened to see someone cutting stones. Moreover, an ancient stone tool was found, shocking everyone. "We can't stay here for long. Let's go." The cultivators who had cut the stone tool conversed. They did not stay and quickly left. The stone tool was no small matter. They were worried that something would happen if they stayed, so they left in a hurry. However, they were attacked by a dozen mysterious cultivators as soon as they left the stone shop. Those cultivators were simply too powerful. They hid in the void and launched a sneak attack, catching these cultivators off guard. Screams of agony could be heard. Several cultivators died tragically, and their storage rings were taken away. Many people heard the commotion and went to check it out. Many people's expressions changed when they saw the cultivators die tragically. Aren't they too arrogant? They attacked outside the stone shop. Are they looking down on the heavenly dragons? If the heavenly dragons can't guarantee the safety of their customers, they'll only invite disaster by cutting precious things out of the stone shop. Who knows, those people might be related to the heavenly dragons. Rumors spread all over the place. Even the heavenly dragons were alarmed. A tall and slender woman arrived. That's the granddaughter of the heavenly dragons. Her name is Long Muying. She's in charge of many businesses on Coiling Dragon Island. She's probably here to deal with those cultivators who were robbed and killed, right? Deal with them? I think they're just trying to sell dog meat under false pretenses. Maybe they're just pretending to be a thief? Many people discussed this matter and did not trust the Heavenly Dragon clan. Ladies and gentlemen, I've learned about what happened outside the stone workshop not long ago. During this period of time, countless cultivators have swarmed into our Coiling Dragon Island because of the upcoming Heavenly Legends ranking battle. Our Coiling Dragon Island has issued a rule that no private fights are allowed on the island. Those who engage in private fights will be expelled from Coiling Dragon Island. Those who kill others for treasures will be killed without mercy. Our Coiling Dragon Island will definitely get to the bottom of these people today and give an explanation to those who died and the forces behind them. Long Muying said aloud. After hearing Long Muying's explanation, many people felt relieved. If it was an outsider who did it, they would not have to worry too much. However, if it was done by Coiling Dragon Island, they would have to be careful. Many people dispersed and continued to cut the stones. Do you see that? Those are the evil stones that the heavenly dragons retrieved from the ocean at a depth of over 100,000 meters. In the depths of the stone shop, there were many precious stones placed in a courtyard. Fatso pointed at the dozens of stones placed together. Those stones were extraordinary. They exuded an evil energy. They were the evil stones that Fatso had mentioned earlier. Lin Feng looked at the dozens of evil stones and could not help but frown slightly. What's wrong? Do you feel that something is wrong? Fatso asked. Lin Feng nodded and said, This place makes me feel very oppressed. Chapter 2303. Lin Feng and Little Donkey both felt uncomfortable. Clearly it was because of those strange stones. Those stones were indeed not simple and made their hearts palpitate. Lin Feng couldn't help but rub his chin and say, It seems that there really are living creatures sealed within those stones. Fatso's eyes suddenly lit up. If that's the case, then that's great. We can find those stones that seal living creatures. Seeing Fatso's excited expression, it was clear that he was itching to give it a try. At that moment, someone chose an evil stone. The price of this kind of evil stone was extremely high. Even the cheapest one cost 10 million origin crystals, so not just anyone could afford to buy an evil stone. There was one more thing. Even if one had enough origin crystals to buy an evil stone, how many people would be willing to spend an astronomical amount of money to buy an evil stone? After all, the probability of finding something good from the stone was very low. If nothing was found after the stone was cut open, then it would be a complete loss. Of course, there were also a few rich cultivators who didn't care about 10 million origin crystals. Lin Feng recognized the person who chose the stone. It was none other than the Sky Demon Emperor's son. He was obviously very rich. "Sir, this is a stone-cutting knife." The shop assistant handed a stone-cutting knife to the Sky Demon Emperor's son. Swish, 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 the Sky Demon Emperor's son began to cut the stone. He was extremely skilled, and stone chips flew everywhere. The stone was continuously shrinking. Many people stared at the shrinking evil stone, wanting to see what the Sky Demon Emperor's son would find. However, the stone didn't move at all. "It can't be that he won't be able to cut anything, right? If that's the case, then 10 million origin crystals will be wasted," many people muttered, and they all had a gloating look on their faces. Buzz. Suddenly, an astonishing wave of energy emanated from the stone. Many people were shocked. The stone that the Sky Demon Emperor's son was about to cut had produced such an extraordinary fluctuation. Even the Sky Demon Emperor's son was shocked. Swoosh! What was shocking was that the stone chosen by the Sky Demon Emperor's son turned into a stream of light and flew outside. Many people tried to intercept it, but they were all sent flying by the stone. "The stone has become a spirit!" Many cultivators cried out in alarm. This piece of stone really did develop intelligence. It was extremely unordinary and strange, leaving everyone shocked and moved. "Where do you think you're going?" The Sky Demon Emperor's son shouted coldly and quickly chased after him. Many people chased after him. However, there were also many who continued to stay in the stone workshop. "I choose this one." A middle-aged cultivator gritted his teeth and chose an evil stone, spending 12 million origin crystals. Originally, the middle-aged cultivator was still hesitating. This was because the price of over 10 million origin crystals for a single evil stone was simply too high. But when the middle-aged man saw the Sky Demon Emperor's son cut out something shocking, he really couldn't suppress the desire in his heart. The middle-aged man began to cut the stone. Many people gathered around to watch. The Sky Demon Emperor's son cut out something shocking. That stone came from the same batch as the middle-aged cultivator. Do you think the middle-aged cultivator will be able to cut out something good? This evil stone is so expensive. The chances of it being cut out should be much higher than other stones. I think he might be able to cut out something shocking. Many people whispered to each other, discussing whether the middle-aged man would be able to cut out something precious. Swoosh! Swoosh! The middle-aged cultivator was very skilled at cutting the stone. Pieces of the stone fell off. The stone continued to shrink. However, as the stone shrank, the middle-aged cultivator's expression became more and more solemn. In the end, sweat poured down his face. Clearly, the middle-aged cultivator had a bad feeling about this. It should be empty. Lin Feng sensed the last piece of stone and couldn't sense any special aura. That was why he said that. That's over 10 million origin crystals. Just like that? Fatso was speechless. 10 million origin crystals wasn't a small sum for countless people. If they didn't understand the concept of 10 million origin crystals, they could think of it as 10 million yuan. Wasn't 10 million yuan a lot of money? Of course it was. Therefore, if they spent 10 million origin crystals and couldn't cut out anything, who wouldn't feel the pinch other than someone as rich as Lin Feng? In the end, the middle-aged cultivator completely cut out the stone, but the stone was empty. He couldn't cut anything. Why is it like this? The middle-aged cultivator sat on the ground, his face full of unwillingness. Cutting stone was like this. The gambling was very big. The spending here was much higher than in casinos. Countless people had lost their family fortune in the stone workshop because of a single piece of stone. Lin Feng had been in the workshop many times, so he was used to seeing things like that. He wasn't surprised at all. Little Feng, which piece did you take a fancy to? Fatso asked. Lin Feng said. I need to take a closer look. Cutting stone isn't easy. Fatso naturally understood this. He and Lin Feng shuttled between the evil stones. Lin Feng touched the evil stones from time to time. He sensed the aura of the evil stones. "Over here!" Little Donkey called out. "That donkey has become a spirit!" Many people couldn't help but cry out in surprise when they saw Little Donkey speak human language. "What are you talking about? Who are you calling a donkey? Are you looking for a beating?" Little Donkey looked askance at the cultivators who called him a donkey. "If you're not a donkey, then what are you?" Many people couldn't help but roll their eyes. "You should call me Heavenly Donkey Holy Sovereign," Little Donkey said seriously. "How shameless can you be?" Many people cried out speechlessly. A donkey dared to call itself a Holy Sovereign? This world was too crazy. Lin Feng and Fatso walked to Little Donkey's side. Little Donkey ignored the people around him. He pointed at a stone with his hoof. "This is it. It gives me a feeling that it's extraordinary," Little Donkey said. Little Donkey was extraordinary. Since he was sure that this stone was extraordinary, it was very likely that there was something extraordinary about it. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at the stone. He stretched out his hand and touched it. "How is it?" Fatso looked at Lin Feng and asked. "It's indeed a little different from other stones, but I can't tell exactly what it is." "Let's cut this stone," Lin Feng said. Chapter 2304. "Where do you think you're going?" Fatty's eyes were sharp, and his hands were quick. He immediately grabbed the stone. "Waha, I caught him! The stone has a spirit! We're rich now!" Fatso was so excited that his entire body was trembling. Who would have thought that this stone material was not simple at all? It directly brought the fatty into the air. Then, it shook its body. Bang! A powerful force slammed into Fatso, sending Fatso flying. Thud! Fatso fell to the ground. "Io, my butt is about to break into two halves. This damned stone, this fat lord will *ck your ancestors." Fatso rubbed his butt as he wailed. His eyes were filled with resentment. The stone soared into the sky, trying to rush out of the stone workshop. Buzz! At this moment, the ceiling of the stone workshop was densely covered with formation runes. They blocked the stone's path of escape. When the stone came into contact with the interweaving formation runes in the air, it was repelled. "Ha ha ha, the stone workshop is densely covered with powerful formation runes. The stone won't be able to escape this time." Fatso jumped up and was about to pounce on the stone. "The stone is mine, bullshit, the stone is mine." Many people roared and charged at the stone. Fatso cursed. *ck, the stone is ours, okay? You're snatching other people's things. Don't you have any shame? Immediately, a cultivator sneered and said, "Have you paid?" "How is it yours if you haven't paid?" Fatso said. "After cutting the stone, we'll naturally pay together. If you haven't paid, it's not yours." Someone else sneered. The rule of the stone workshop was to first select the stone. After the stone was selected, the stone was cut. Before leaving the stone workshop, all the stones had to be paid together. Therefore, Lin Feng and the others had only selected this stone but did not pay for it. If this stone was still in the hands of Lin Feng and the others, these cultivators could not openly snatch it. The rules had to be obeyed. However, the key problem now was that this stone was no longer under the control of Lin Feng and Fatso. Therefore, these people decided to act shamelessly and participate in the fight for it. Lin Feng and Fatso couldn't do anything about these scoundrels. Bang bang bang, the stones were very terrifying, knocking away cultivators one after another. Seeing that there was no way to escape from above, this piece of stone decided to find another way out. It could also escape from the entrance of the courtyard. However, with so many cultivators attacking, no matter how powerful the stone was, it was ultimately unable to break out of the encirclement. Finally, the stone material retreated to the depths of the cave. Just as the group of cultivators were planning to snatch the stone material, suddenly, cracking sounds could be heard from the stone. "This is..." Many people's eyelids twitched violently. "The thing inside is coming out!" someone exclaimed. The thing that rushed out of the stone was too shocking. However, it was already too late for him to stop them. Crack, crack, crack. The stone continued to crack, and a terrifying wave of energy surged out from the stone. Everyone, please leave this courtyard as soon as possible. The owner of the stone workshop appeared. He was an old man in gray, and his aura was deep and terrifying. Why should we leave? Could it be that you see something coming out of the stone and want to take it for yourself? This stone material is for sale. Even if something comes out now, we can still buy it because we've been eyeing this stone material for a long time. Whoever snatches the thing coming out of the stone material will be able to buy it. A cultivator immediately said, and many people responded. The owner couldn't help but frown. He was worried that something terrifying would come out of the stone material, so he wanted to disperse the crowd. However, seeing that these cultivators were unwilling to leave, the owner simply stopped persuading them. Crack, crack! The stone material continued to crack. Not long after, a stone saber appeared. The stone saber wasn't big, only a dozen centimeters long. Endless murderous aura came out of the stone saber. After sensing the murderous aura, everyone's expression changed. This stone saber was too terrifying. However, the surrounding cultivators soon became excited. The stone saber was so powerful. If they could snatch it later, they would be rich. Stone tools were precious and priceless treasures. 10 million origin crystals for a single stone tool was simply too worth it. Crack, crack! The stone material continued to crack. Soon, a stone arm appeared in everyone's line of sight, causing everyone to reveal an incomparably shocked expression. Obviously, there was more than just a stone saber sealed in the stone material. The stone material cracked faster and faster. Soon, the stone material completely cracked. A stone man appeared in everyone's sight. This stone man was too small. It was only about 20 centimeters tall, and it was holding a stone saber in its hand. Now, the stone man looked at everyone with cold eyes, and there was a sense of arrogance in its eyes. Stone man. Many people were shocked. They didn't expect the stone material to be so extraordinary. It sealed a stone man, and the stone man was holding a stone saber. Erase its soul, and we can refine the stone man into the most powerful stone man puppet. Many cultivators shouted excitedly. The stone man holding a stone saber was too attractive. Many people seemed to have gone mad as they charged towards the stone men. Swoosh! All kinds of Dharma treasures were brought out, and they all attacked the stone man. Lowly creatures! You blasphemed the supreme dignity of the stone clan. You all deserve to die. The stone man's voice was cold, and his eyes flashed with a dense killing intent. The stone golem brandished the stone blade in its hand and slashed at the group of cultivators. Puff! 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 The stone saber's power was too terrifying. One Dharma treasure after another was torn to pieces by the stone saber. Next, the stone saber cut the bodies of the cultivators in half. The stone saber was very strange. After killing the cultivators, it quickly devoured the flesh and soul essence of the dead cultivators. The stone saber's power increased crazily. It was like a demonic saber. Many people felt their scalps go numb at the sight. Let's go, Lin Feng whispered, and quickly ran outside with Fatso and Little Donkey. The stone man with a stone saber had appeared, and it was impossible to subdue it. Running away was the best choice. If they stayed, they might be killed by the stone man. Many cultivators were frightened by the stone man's attacks, and they turned to flee. That brat, Fatso, and that donkey, you can't escape! The stone man locked onto Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. It ignored the others and chased after them. Many people heaved a sigh of relief when they saw this. Damn it, I'm called Heavenly Donkey Holy Sovereign, not that donkey! Little Donkey shouted angrily. The stone man called Little Donkey that donkey. Chapter 2305. You're just a donkey. How dare you call yourself Heavenly Donkey Sage? Don't you have any shame? The stone man sneered. Little Donkey was furious. He turned around and wanted to fight the stone man. Fatso shouted, Brother Donkey, calm down! Lin Feng shouted, Brother Donkey, calm down. Impulse is the devil. Under Lin Feng and Fatso's persuasion, little Donkey finally calmed down. He realized that he was no match for the stone man. He quickly followed Lin Feng and Fatso to escape. I'll slaughter your donkey and cook it! The stone man chased after them. His voice was cold, but there was a hint of mockery in it. Little Donkey was furious. He gritted his teeth, but he knew that he was no match for the stone man. He could only suppress his anger and continue to escape. However, the stone man had caught up. He waved his sword and was about to slash at Little Donkey. Pfft! Suddenly, Little Donkey shook his butt and released an attack that smelled good. Little Donkey's attack was obviously his trump card. Not only did it smell good, but the attack was also very powerful. Bang! A loud sound was heard. The stone man was sent flying dozens of meters away by Little Donkey's fart. Blurg! Then, the stone man vomited. Damn, Brother Donkey, you're awesome! Lin Feng gave Little Donkey a thumbs up. Little Donkey's attack was too awesome. Lin Feng was stunned. That's Brother Donkey's trump card. Even if you don't die from the stomp, you'll die from the smell, Fatso said. Little Donkey said proudly. Of course, that's Brother Donkey's specialty. It's a secret skill that I created myself. I even gave it a famous name. What's it called? Lin Feng asked curiously. It's called the Heavenly Donkey Holy Venerable Sky Blasting Thunder, the donkey said with a grin. What the? Lin Feng was shocked. The little donkey was truly a rare item. I'm going to slaughter you and roast you as a whole donkey, the stone man roared furiously. They quickly chased after Lin Feng and the others. Right now, the stone man was about to die from depression. What kind of powerful existence was it? He was actually sent flying by a donkey's fart. This was simply a great humiliation. Now that he thought about it, he was so depressed that he wanted to go crazy. Now, Little Donkey had become a thorn in the side of the stone man. The stone man only wanted to kill Little Donkey to vent his anger. After killing Little Donkey, he would kill Little Donkey's accomplices, Lin Feng and Fatso. That was the only way to completely calm the stone man's anger. The stone man pushed his speed to the limit, and quickly charged toward Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. Humph! However, at that moment, a cold snort was heard. As the cold snort was heard, dense formation runes appeared in the void. Those formation runes were like chains of order, locking down the world. One by one, the formation runes suppressed the stone man. The experts of the stone workshop made their move. They activated the formation, wanting to suppress the stone man. Lin Feng guessed that the person who made the move was the gray-robed elder, the workshop owner. The stone man was too powerful. The workshop owner did not dare to be careless, so he activated the monarch runes of the stone workshop to suppress the stone man. Bang, bang, bang! After 3 consecutive collisions, the stone man was forced to retreat. As expected of monarch runes, they were very powerful. Even the stone man was unable to resist them. Looks like the stone man is about to be suppressed by the stone workshop. Many people gathered around to watch. Many people saw that the stone workshop was about to suppress the stone man. They all felt that it was a pity. They also wanted to suppress the stone man, but their strength was limited. They could not suppress the stone man. Bang, bang, bang! The monarch runes continued to exert their power. The stone man was sent flying again and again. Slash! The stone man shouted coldly. He waved the stone knife in his hand and slashed at the monarch runes that looked like chains of order. Clang! 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 A series of collisions were heard. However, the stone knife could not cut through the monarch runes. Instead, the stone man was sent flying by the monarch runes. The stone man was suppressed very badly. It seemed that it was only a matter of time before he was captured. You're still far from being able to suppress me. The stone man's eyes flashed coldly. He used the stone knife to cut his palm. Pfft! His palm split open and a drop of stone man's blood flowed out. The stone knife quickly absorbed the drop of stone man's blood. Heavens, this is too unbelievable! Lin Feng could not help but exclaim. The stone man could produce blood? The stone man was made of stone. How could he produce blood? It was unbelievable. However, the world was so big that nothing was too strange. Anything unimaginable had happened. It seemed to be understandable. After absorbing the stone man's blood, the stone knife's power increased greatly. Slash! The stone man wielded the stone knife and slashed at one of the monarch runes. The stone man unleashed his strongest attack. Puff! A tearing sound was heard. The stone man cut through the monarch rune. Originally, the emperor runes combined together to form the most perfect and flawless formation. However, after one of the monarch runes was cut, a hole appeared in the formation. Swoosh! The stone man turned into a stream of light and flew out from the broken monarch rune. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared without a trace. After seeing this scene, many people couldn't help but gasp. The stone knife was stained with the stone man's blood. Its power was so terrifying that even the monarch rune was cut. It was unbelievable. A dragon has risen from the abyss. I'm afraid no one can suppress the stone man anymore. Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. There are some amazing stones in this stone workshop. It's a pity that this stone was not able to suppress him. If it was suppressed before he was born, we might have been able to refine him into a stone puppet. Fatso could not help but sigh. It was a pity, Lin Feng said. Let's go back and see if there are any more stones worth cutting. Fatso's eyes lit up. Hopefully, there are a few more heaven-defying stones. That would be great. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey returned. The people in the stone workshop were cleaning up the corpses of the dead cultivators, waiting for their companions to come and claim the bodies. Greed can often cause people to lose their lives. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he looked at the corpses. The stone workshop opened again, and the three of them entered. Little Donkey said, There's nothing good left. Let's go back. Lin Feng also felt that there was nothing good left in the evil stones. After hearing Little Donkey's words, he was even more certain. The three of them walked outside. It's you! When they arrived at the gate of the courtyard, a young man walked towards them. That young man stopped Lin Feng and said in an ice-cold tone, You're a genius! The young master was none other than the son of the Sky Demon Emperor. Chapter 2306. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son and Lin Feng could be considered old acquaintances. However, back then, the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son was still an unhatched egg. Now that the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son had hatched, his cultivation was extremely heaven-defying. Back then, Lin Feng wanted to refine the black flame god-devouring fire left behind by the Heavenly Demon Emperor. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son wanted to refine Lin Feng's heavenly fire as well. It was either you die or I die because they were both coveting the other's heavenly fire. TSK, that egg from back then, has hatched. Lin Feng glanced at the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son indifferently. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son looked at Lin Feng coldly. A demonic black light flashed in his eyes. It was the power of the heavenly fire. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son licked his lips and said, You are quite lucky to have 4 types of heavenly fire in your body. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son controlled the black flame god-devouring fire, which was ranked 8th among the heavenly fires. Therefore, he could sense the number of heavenly fires Lin Feng controlled. I've always wanted to refine the 5th type of heavenly fire, but I couldn't find it. Now that you've appeared, I've finally found it. Why don't you give it to me? Name a price. No matter how much it costs, I'll satisfy you. Lin Feng looked at the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son with a faint smile. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son sneered. It's been so many years, but it seems like you're still coveting my heavenly fire. Great, I also want your heavenly fire. You should be glad that you can't fight in private on Coiling Dragon Island. If that were the case, you would be dead by now. I'll let you live for a few more days. When we reach the Origin Ruins world and the Prodigy ranking battle begins, I'll trample you beneath my feet and cut off your head. Is that so? I'm also waiting for that day to come. I wonder who will be the one to kill who then? Lin Feng said indifferently. Ha ha ha, someone with a lowly bloodline like you wants to kill me? What a joke! The Sky Demon Emperor's son laughed as he walked into the courtyard. He did not take Lin Feng seriously at all. In the eyes of the Sky Demon Emperor's son, with his current strength, killing Lin Feng was as simple as crushing an ant. Who is that kid? You seem to have clashed with the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son. I don't recognize him. His life aura is very young. Could he be the successor of some top power? That kid seems to be Lin Feng, the disciple of Lord Tortoise of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect. Master Tortoise? That infamous Lord Tortoise? That's right. It's that Master Tortoise. I know Lin Feng. It's said that he's not a good person. He's always idling around in the Reincarnation Immortal Sect and harassing the fairies of the sect. That's why he's called scum. I heard that the Reincarnation Immortal Sect has established a faction called the Dragon Gate in the Southern Sea region. With Lord Tortoise's prestige, the Dragon Gate was appointed as the Dragon Gate's leader. I've heard about that as well. It's said that the Dragon Gate is quite powerful. It has won several conflicts with the evil Dragon Palace. I'm guessing that the Reincarnation Immortal Sect sent that kid to be the Dragon Gate's leader because they're worried that he'll continue to harm the sect's female disciples. That's why they sent him away. Out of sight, out of mind. Now that the kid has clashed with the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son, he's doomed. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son is too heaven-defying. He's almost invincible. That's not necessarily true. That kid is Lord Tortoise's disciple. I'm sure he has many powerful techniques. Maybe Lord Tortoise gave him some powerful defensive treasures. That's a possibility. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son also has top-tier treasures. That's why the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son only needs to use his treasures to suppress that kid's treasures. Then, he'll deal with him. That kid will still die. Many people whispered among themselves. They looked at Lin Feng as if they were looking at a dead man. Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with those gossiping cultivators. He returned to his residence with Fatso and Little Donkey. The next day, the Coiling Dragon Island captured the group of cultivators who killed and robbed outside the stone workshop. Moreover, the Coiling Dragon Island wanted to execute them in public. The incident caused a huge uproar. Those people are very strong. They must have an extraordinary background. The Coiling Dragon Island wants to execute them in public. Aren't they afraid of falling out with the factions behind them? So what if they fall out with them? The Coiling Dragon Island is backed by the Heavenly Dragon clan. The Heavenly Dragon Old Ancestor's cultivation is unfathomable. Besides, the Heavenly Dragon Old Ancestor is a good friend of the Red World Fairy. With such a powerful backer, who would dare to offend the Coiling Dragon Island? That's true. Even those immortal sects, ancient clans, and ancient factions wouldn't dare to offend the Coiling Dragon Island. The entire Coiling Dragon Island was discussing the incident. Many people rushed to the square. More than a dozen black-clothed men were tied up and lined up in a row. They were still masked. The Coiling Dragon Island didn't announce their identities. Clearly, the Coiling Dragon Island didn't go too far. They were still giving face to the factions behind these black-clothed men. However, it was hard to say whether the other party would appreciate it. Long Muying personally supervised the execution. The time has come. Execute. Long Muying shouted. More than a dozen executioners wielded large sabers and slashed down. Puff! 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 Blood splattered everywhere. All of the black-clothed men were killed. The Coiling Dragon Island has killed more than a dozen people. It's enough to shock everyone, Fatso said. Yeah, the Coiling Dragon Island is really decisive in killing, Lin Feng said. After watching the show, Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey found a restaurant to eat and drink. At night, they went to a brothel to have fun. What made them speechless was that Little Donkey actually found a few beauties to massage him. This guy really knows how to enjoy life. On the 5th day of the Coiling Dragon Island, on this night someone came to visit Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at the person who had come to see him. It was an old man. He was extremely skinny and looked like a skeleton. He looked like an old ghost that had crawled out of hell. Even Lin Feng felt a chill run down his spine. May I know why Senior is looking for this junior? Lin Feng asked. Lin Gongzi, you're too polite. This time, this old servant is under the orders of my master to invite you over for a chat, the old man said. Lin Feng was shocked. This old man actually called himself an old servant. Whose servant was he? A servant was actually so terrifying. What cultivation level was his master at? Lin Feng couldn't help but feel shocked when he thought of this. Lin Feng was somewhat puzzled. Why did this old man's master invite him over? Could it be that he had some ulterior motive? He asked calmly. May I know who Senior's master is? Do I know him? Chapter 2307. Lin Gongzi, you'll know when you get there, said the old man. He did not reveal who his master was to Lin Feng. Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. The old man's origins were mysterious, and his cultivation was powerful. Moreover, he was only a servant. His master was obviously stronger. If he did not know who his master was, what would he do if he was plotted against? The old man seemed to know what Lin Feng was thinking. Lin Gongzi, are you afraid? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows and said, Senior, there's no need to provoke me. I won't change my mind just because of a few words from others. However, since you've specially invited me, I'll go with you, said the old man. Since that's the case, let's set off now. Lin Feng nodded and left with the old man. He boarded a beast carriage. The old man chatted with Lin Feng. An hour later, they arrived at their destination. After alighting from the carriage, Lin Feng discovered that he had arrived at a huge mansion. There were cultivators patrolling the mansion. The island master's mansion, said Lin Feng with narrowed eyes. On the entire Coiling Dragon Island, except for the mansion of the island owner, there shouldn't be any other place that was so heavily guarded. Lin Gongzi's eyes are as sharp as pearls. This is indeed the island master's mansion, said the old man. Looks like Patriarch Tianlong invited me here for a chat, Lin Feng said with narrowed eyes. The old man nodded. That's right. My master is Patriarch Tianlong. Lin Feng did not say anything else. He followed the old man to see Patriarch Tianlong. Back then, during the Red World Fairy's birthday celebration, he had seen Patriarch Tianlong. However, Lin Feng had been looking at Patriarch Tianlong, who was standing beside the Red World Fairy. At that time, Patriarch Tianlong was an existence that Lin Feng had to look up to. Now, following the increase in cultivation, Lin Feng was approaching Old Ancestor Heavenly Dragon's cultivation. Of course, Lin Feng also knew that if he wanted to contend against Sky Dragon Old Ancestor, he still needed a certain amount of time to accumulate his own cultivation. I don't have any interactions with Patriarch Heavenly Dragon. Why is Patriarch Heavenly Dragon looking for me? Lin Feng couldn't help but feel puzzled. Suddenly, tens of cultivators walked forward. The one leading them was a woman. Surprisingly, it was Long Muying. Lin Feng had seen this woman several times before. Although Long Muying was young, his cultivation was powerful and was highly regarded by Old Ancestor Heavenly Dragon. Therefore, at a young age, he began to wield great power. Grandpa Hong. After seeing the old man, Long Muying hurriedly bowed. Lord Hong. The people around Long Muying all bowed to the old man. Although the old man called himself an old servant, but he had stayed by Old Ancestor Sky Dragon's side for such a long time, who would dare to treat him as a servant? Even the cultivators of the Heavenly Dragon clan were very respectful when they saw the old man. The younger generation even affectionately called the old man Grandpa Hong. This was a sign of respect for the old man. Greetings, youngness. The old man smiled with a kind expression on his face. Long Muying glanced at Lin Feng and asked, Grandpa Hong, who is this young master? The old man replied, This young master is Lin Gongzi, Lin Feng, a disciple of Lord Turtle of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect. The Patriarch wishes to meet Lin Gongzi to discuss some matters. Lord Turtle's disciple? Long Nuying looked at Lin Feng in surprise. She had naturally heard of Lin Feng, but she didn't pay much attention to him. She didn't expect to meet Lin Feng in person today. Why don't we find some time to have some tea? Chat? Talk about romance? Lin Feng looked at Long Nuying with a smile. The people around Long Nuying broke out in cold sweat when they heard Lin Feng's words. They rejoiced in Long Nuying's misfortune and said, "Brat, you actually dared to tease the Patriarch. You're dead meat. Rumor has it that this fellow is scum." "It seems like the rumors are true." Long Nuying snorted coldly in her heart. However, a charming smile appeared on her face and she said, "All right, I'll make an appointment with you when the time comes. However, I won't disturb you from meeting the Patriarch for now." Then Long Nuying looked at the old man and said, "Grandpa Hong Nuying will take her leave." "Go on," the old man said with a smile. After Long Nuying left with the group, the old man looked at Lin Feng with a faint smile and said, "What? Have you taken a liking to Muying? She hasn't been betrothed to anyone yet. If you've taken a liking to Muying, this old servant can put in a good word for you in front of the Patriarch." Lin Feng smiled bitterly. "I was just joking with Long Nuying. Senior, please don't take it seriously," the old man said meaningfully. "Sometimes, what's true can be false, and what's false can be true." Lin Feng didn't say anything and just smiled. The old man didn't say anything else. He directly brought Lin Feng to meet Patriarch Tianlong. Patriarch Tianlong lived in a purple bamboo forest. The environment here was extremely quiet. When they arrived outside the purple bamboo forest, the old man said, "I'll send you here. Lin Gongzi can go in by himself." "Thank you, Senior." Lin Feng cupped his fists. "Lin Gongzi, you're welcome." The old man waved his hand and left. Lin Feng then walked towards the depths of the purple bamboo forest. Bang! However, just as he took 5 or 6 steps, an invisible force burst out from the void and swept towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng was directly hit by the invisible force and flew out. He felt his qi and blood rolling, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Lin Feng's face suddenly became gloomy. It was obvious that Patriarch Tianlong had attacked him. Lin Feng didn't know why Patriarch Tianlong attacked him. He didn't seem to have offended this old man, right? "Senior, what is the meaning of this?" Lin Feng asked in a deep voice. Bang! In the next moment, Lin Feng was hit by the invisible force again. His body flew out again. Patriarch Tianlong was too powerful. Even without showing himself, the combat strength he displayed was already terrifying and shocking. It was hard to imagine how powerful Patriarch Tianlong's cultivation was. Therefore, Lin Feng had no intention of fighting with Patriarch Tianlong. He rushed outside, but the entire purple bamboo forest was intertwined with formation runes, trapping Lin Feng in the formation. Humph! Patriarch Tianlong, what is the meaning of this? If you don't show yourself, do you believe that I won't burn this purple bamboo forest to the ground? Lin Feng flicked his finger, and a ball of heavenly fire flew out. The surrounding bamboos were set ablaze, and the bamboos were instantly turned into ashes. "Little bastard, stop it!" Old Ancestor Tianlong stepped out of the void and looked at the bamboo that had been burned to ashes. His heart was bleeding. These were all immortal bamboos. They were extremely rare. Every single one of them was a huge loss. Lin Feng had just destroyed over 100 of them. Patriarch Tianlong wanted nothing more than to chop Lin Feng into pieces. However, when he thought about how Lin Feng was the Red World Fairy's tribulation taker, he could only endure it. "Why did you call me over?" Lin Feng asked straightforwardly. Chapter 2308. Patriarch Tianlong glanced at the red dust thread on Lin Feng's wrist before retracting his gaze. "What? Can I invite you over for a chat if there's nothing important?" Lin Feng said. TSK. We don't have any friendship. There's a saying that goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. Patriarch Tianlong was furious. He glared at Lin Feng and said, "Brat, what are you talking about? Do you believe that I won't beat you up?" Lin Feng said, "We gentlemen use our mouths, not our fists. Moreover, if we really fight and burn this precious purple bamboo forest to ashes, that would be too much of a pity." This purple bamboo was also known as the Enlightenment bamboo. It was an extremely rare species. In the past, Patriarch Tianlong had gone to great lengths to obtain this purple bamboo. Now that he was threatened by Lin Feng, he immediately lost his temper. Old Ancestor Tianlong said, "The reason I'm looking for you this time is to give you something." "Oh? What is it?" Lin Feng looked at Patriarch Tianlong in surprise. He did not have any interactions with the Heavenly Dragon Ancestor, but the Heavenly Dragon Ancestor wanted to give him something, which made him puzzled. Swish! Patriarch Tianlong's hand flashed, and an item appeared. Lin Feng looked over. When he saw the item, his eyelids twitched violently. It was a black piece of porcelain. Although it was incomplete, Lin Feng could tell at a glance that it was a part of the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar was broken into 5 parts. Lin Feng had already found 2 parts. He was still 3 parts away from completely repairing the heaven-devouring jar. Every time he found a part, the heaven-devouring jar's power would increase greatly. "For me?" He looked at Patriarch Tianlong in disbelief. Then, he became puzzled. "How did this old man know that I have the heaven-devouring jar?" Patriarch Tianlong had come looking for him. Lin Feng's heart was filled with too many questions. Patriarch Tianlong said, "Of course it's for you. Why did you give me this? There doesn't seem to be any relationship between us, right?" Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he looked at old Ancestor Tianlong. Just as he had said before, one who was unaccountably solicitous was hiding evil intentions. Would old Ancestor Heavenly Dragon give him the heaven-swallowing jar fragment for no reason? At the very least, Lin Feng did not think that an expert at the level of Heavenly Dragon Old Ancestor would do such a thing. "I was entrusted by someone," Ancestor Tianlong said indifferently. "Oh? Entrusted by someone? Who asked him to do this?" Lin Feng asked in surprise. "The Red World Fairy," the Heavenly Dragon Ancestor said. "The Red World Fairy?" Lin Feng immediately revealed an extremely shocked expression. The Red World Fairy was a high and mighty existence. Logically speaking, the current him was not qualified to have any interaction with the Red World Fairy. However, Lin Feng found that he seemed to have some connection with the Red World Fairy. For example, when the boat of curses was chasing him, the Red World Fairy appeared and repelled the boat. Why would the Red World Fairy help him? At that time, Lin Feng was extremely puzzled. However, the Red World Fairy would not tell him the reason. Now, the Red World Fairy had obtained the heaven-swallowing jar fragment and asked old Ancestor Tianlong to give it to him. This made Lin Feng even more puzzled. With the Red World Fairy's cultivation, Lin Feng was not surprised that she could see what kind of treasure he had. What really made him feel strange was that the Red World Fairy needed to give the heaven-swallowing jar fragment to someone she did not have any relationship with. What exactly was involved in all of this? Lin Feng could not figure it out even if he racked his brains. The Red World Fairy had helped him time and time again. What was the meaning behind it? "What? You don't want it? It's better if you don't want it." As old Ancestor Tianlong spoke, he was about to put away the heaven-swallowing jar fragment. Lin Feng snatched the heaven-swallowing jar fragment and said, "Why don't you want it?" "Of course I want it. This was given to me by the Red World Fairy. It belongs to me now." "Humph!" Old Ancestor Tianlong could not help but snort coldly. Old Ancestor Tianlong really did not like Lin Feng. Back then, the Red World Fairy's great Emperor Tribulation descended. It was actually the tribulation of the mortal world, and it was on Lin Feng. Old Ancestor Tianlong's suggestion was to directly kill Lin Feng, and then successfully transcend the tribulation and become a great emperor. However, the Red World Fairy did not do so. The Red World Fairy had already comprehended the mysteries of fate. She knew many things that old Ancestor Tianlong did not know. She even saw a trace of Lin Feng's future. She also saw her own future. It would be intertwined with Lin Feng's future, and it would be difficult to part with it. Although Lin Feng was not strong enough now. However, this was only temporary. The Red World Fairy believed that in the near future, Lin Feng would definitely be able to grow up. The mortal love thread was the connection between Lin Feng and the Red World Fairy. This was also the reason why the Red World Fairy helped Lin Feng. It was just that Lin Feng did not know about this matter. Back then, when Lin Feng's cultivation was weak, some experts could still see the existence of the mortal love thread. However, as Lin Feng's cultivation continued to increase, it was very difficult for people to see the mortal love thread on Lin Feng's wrist. Even a powerhouse of old ancestor heavenly dragon's level could no longer see the wisps of worldly emotions. "If there's nothing else, this junior will take his leave," Lin Feng said. Old ancestor Tianlong narrowed his eyes and looked at Lin Feng. In his opinion, Lin Feng was a demon that hindered the Red World Fairy's cultivation. However, no matter how much he disliked Lin Feng, there were some things that could not be changed. He said indifferently, "Kid, don't die too early. Otherwise, you will fail to live up to some people's expectations of you." Lin Feng felt that old ancestor Tianlong's words had a hidden meaning. Just as he was about to ask, he found that old ancestor Tianlong had disappeared without a trace. "This old man is so mysterious," Lin Feng could not help but mutter, then turned and walked outside. "Lin Gongzi, this old servant will send you back." The old man was waiting outside. When he saw Lin Feng come out, he said with a smile, "Thank you for your trouble, senior." Lin Feng cupped his fists. "Lin Gongzi, you're too polite," said the old man, leading the way. When they were halfway there, a beautiful maidservant came from afar. She bowed to the old man and said, "Master Hong, the young lady invited Lin Gongzi to visit her." The young lady that the maidservant was talking about should be Long Muying. The old man smiled and patted Lin Feng's shoulder, saying, "Young people should seize the opportunity well. Go." Lin Feng was speechless. He guessed that the old man probably thought that he and Long Muying were lovers. "This junior will take his leave," said Lin Feng, then cupped his fists and bowed to the old man. Then, he followed the beautiful maidservant to see Long Muying. The old man did not stop and walked towards the purple bamboo forest. Chapter 2309. "Young master, our young miss is waiting for you inside." The maidservant brought Lin Feng to a palace and pointed at it. Lin Feng nodded and walked towards the palace. He pushed the door open and entered the palace. Rumble. Following that, the door closed. Lin Feng looked inside and found that the interior of the palace was actually a huge training room. There were all kinds of weapons and training equipment placed in the training room. A woman was sitting cross-legged with her back facing him. That woman was none other than Long Muying. "You're here," Long Muying said indifferently. Said Long Muying indifferently. He stood up and looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Little Ying, the place you go for a date with someone is really unique. Other people would choose a beautiful garden or an elegant pavilion for a date, but you chose a training room for a date. That's really unique, but I like it. Shameless bastard, who wants to go on a date with you?" Long Muying glared at Lin Feng fiercely. Lin Feng said, "If you're not going on a date with me, why did you call me here? It's such a big room, and there's only the two of us. Don't tell me you have some bad intentions towards me? Let me tell you, don't be impulsive. Impulsiveness is the devil. Don't act recklessly, because I'll scream." Long Muying almost died from anger when she heard Lin Feng's words. Long Muying had a lot of power, and she was not a good-tempered person. She also knew that Lin Feng was teasing her. However, Long Muying was unable to suppress the anger in her heart. She glared at Lin Feng fiercely and said, "Go ahead and scream. Even if you scream yourself hoarse, no one will save you today." Speaking up to this point, Long Muying suddenly felt that something was wrong with her words. That sentence and Lin Feng's previous sentence made it sound like a heinous rapist was forcing a weak young woman to do something she didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. "Ha ha! Lin Feng suddenly laughed out loud. He laughed so hard that he was out of breath. You're courting death! Long Muying knew that she had been led astray by Lin Feng. Hearing Lin Feng's laughter, she became even angrier and couldn't help but coldly shout. Then, he shot up and rushed toward Lin Feng. A heaven-shaking dragon fist blasted towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng shouted, Long Muying! There's no grudge between us, right? Why did you attack me? Because you have a cheap mouth. Long Muying said coldly. Obviously, Long Muying hated Lin Feng because he had told her to drink tea, chat, and talk about love before. Long Muying had a fiery temper. Lin Feng's casual words made Long Muying think that Lin Feng was flirting with her. Of course, she couldn't tolerate it. Lin Feng swung his fist at Long Muying. Bang! The two of them punched each other. Next, they both took 3 steps back. Lin Feng said, Long Muying! You don't have a man, so what if I talk about love with you? Now I want to ask you, if I want to flirt with you, will you let me? I'll smash your mouth. Long Muying shouted angrily and pounced at Lin Feng again. This girl's temper was quite fiery, and she belonged to the type of woman who was extremely strong. A man wanted to flirt with her. Not a chance. Heaven-shaking dragon fist, second style, holy dragon soaring fist. Long Muying once again sent out a punch. Groan. A loud dragon roar resounded through heaven and earth. A huge dragon condensed and hovered around Long Muying. The huge dragon bared its fangs and brandished its claws. It was lifelike, just like a real dragon. The power of the second fist of the heaven-shaking dragon fist was many times stronger than the first fist. It was used. Lin Feng was very surprised. Long Muying's cultivation was still very terrifying. As the dragon girl of the heavenly dragon clan, her talent was naturally innate. Naturally, there was no need to mention his talent, and he did not lack cultivation resources. Therefore, although Long Muying was young, his cultivation was already enough to suppress many of the older generation's experts. However, Long Muying was facing Lin Feng today. Lin Feng's cultivation was even more terrifying. Although Long Muying was strong, she was still not Lin Feng's opponent. Facing Long Muying's holy dragon soaring fist, Lin Feng also punched out. His fist was surrounded by yin and yang qi. This was a fist technique recorded in the great yin-yang art called Supreme Yin-Yang Fist. Its power was also very tyrannical. Bang! With a second dull collision sound, Lin Feng and Long Muying collided for the second time. This time, Lin Feng did not move at all. Long Muying, on the other hand, was forced to retreat. Impossible! Long Muying screamed in disbelief. She was the pride of the Heavenly Dragon clan. Long Muying had always been very confident in her own strength. But now, she was actually suppressed by Lin Feng. Long Muying could roughly sense Lin Feng's life aura. It was because she could sense Lin Feng's life aura that she found it even more difficult to accept. Lin Feng smiled and said, With your little cultivation, it's really not enough. I'm so powerful and handsome, so you should be secretly happy. Now, do you agree? Agree my ass. Long Muying snorted and attacked Lin Feng again. Myriad dragons destroying the world. Long Muying attacked again, and this time, the attack was even more terrifying. Dense dragon shadows condensed in the void. Those illusory dragon shadows were turning into real ones. A destructive aura was emitted from the shadows of the dragons. Roar! 10,000 dragons roared. As if they could shatter the world with their roars, they quickly pounced on Lin Feng. Long Muying seemed to be very satisfied with this ability of hers. She looked coldly at Lin Feng and said, Let's see how you block my myriad dragons destroying the world. I came from beyond the heavens, and I control the Tao of all worlds. Lin Feng continued walking forwards, his hands were constantly making hand seals. Rumble. A sacrificial river flew out and devoured the 10,000 dragons right away. The sacrificial river burned fiercely. The dragons' bodies were set ablaze. Lin Feng was becoming more and more adept at using this sacrificial technique. The dragons were sacrificed. Instead, they increased Lin Feng's strength. Lin Feng had already arrived in front of Long Muying. He smiled and said, "Looks like your ability can't threaten me." As soon as his voice fell, Lin Feng stretched out his hand and lightly tapped Long Muying's chest. Long Muying's expression changed drastically. She wanted to quickly dodge Lin Feng's attack, but it was too late. Lin Feng's attack landed on Long Muying's chest. In an instant, Long Muying found that all the magic power in her body had been scattered. Chapter 23:10. Lin Feng looked at Long Muying and said with a smile, "Did you expect to fall into my hands in the end?" Long Muying's expression kept changing. She had indeed not expected to be captured by Lin Feng. Long Muying said, "I'm not as skilled as you, so I lost to you. I don't want to say anything. You can leave now." "I can leave now? Hee, aren't you being a little too casual with your words? How do you think we should settle the grudge between us?" As Lin Feng spoke, his right hand brushed across Long Muying's beautiful face. Apart from having a fiery temper, this woman could be considered a peerless beauty. "What are you trying to do?" Long Muying was someone who had been through a lot. She did not panic just because Lin Feng had captured her. On the contrary, she was still very calm. "I want to." Lin Feng looked at Long Muying's beautiful face and revealed a faint smile. Long Muying snorted. "Don't even think about it. I won't agree to it." "Won't agree to it? Won't agree to what?" Lin Feng said in astonishment. "Didn't you want to hit on me?" "I won't agree to it." Long Muying snorted. "Oh damn. I was just joking, and you took it seriously? Look at you, a tomboy. You think I'll like you? Can you stop daydreaming? Even if you lie beside me, I won't have any reaction. In short, I don't like you." Lin Feng grinned. "Bastard, what did you say?" Long Muying immediately exploded. She looked at Lin Feng angrily, as if she wanted to tear Lin Feng into pieces. Long Muying admitted that she had a bad temper, but she would not admit that she was not beautiful enough. As long as she was a woman, she loved to be beautiful. And of course, Long Muying also loved beauty, not to mention that she was so beautiful. Now, she was actually called a tomboy by Lin Feng, and was even despised by Lin Feng. Naturally, she hated Lin Feng to the point of gnashing her teeth. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Am I wrong? You don't even have 2 tails of meat on your body. You call that a woman? I'll kill you!" Long Muying screamed and rushed towards Lin Feng. Although her current mana was imprisoned by Lin Feng, her body was still able to move. Now, she looked at Lin Feng with eyes that wished she could tear Lin Feng apart. Long Muying directly used her Nine White Bone Claw to grab Lin Feng. Every woman probably knew how to use this move, and they were all very good at it. Lin Feng grabbed Long Muying's hands and pushed her body against the wall. This position was really ambiguous, and Long Muying's pretty face immediately turned red. "Let go of me, or I'll kill you. Do you believe me?" Long Muying threatened. She had never had such contact with a man before, so at this moment, her heart was filled with panic. However, Long Muying's strong personality still made her look very shrewish. She tried her best not to show the panic in her heart in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently, "Threatening me is useless. Now I realize that a tomboy like you actually has a different flavor." "Humph." Long Muying snorted lightly, feeling a little smug in her heart. This guy wasn't blind after all. She had finally discovered her beauty. Before Long Muying could recover from her shock, Lin Feng's lips lightly touched Long Muying's red lips. "Ha ha." Then, Lin Feng laughed and rushed outside. With a wave of his right hand, the tightly shut door opened, and Lin Feng quickly rushed out. It was only then that Long Muying came back to her senses. "Lin Feng, you bastard, you son of a bitch!" Long Muying's pretty face was so red that it almost dripped blood. She kept wiping her lips with her hand. It seemed that she wanted to wipe off Lin Feng's aura as well. She stomped her feet until Lin Feng was completely out of sight. Long Muying stopped as well. Pfft. Long Muying couldn't help but smile. This woman was born extremely beautiful. Now she was smiling. She was as beautiful as a fairy who had fallen from the moon palace to the mortal world. This fellow is quite interesting. Lin Feng muttered to himself. Long Muying couldn't help but mutter. After leaving the island lord's mansion, Lin Feng returned to his residence. For the next few days, everything was very peaceful. The genius ranking battle was about to begin. More and more people were heading to the original ruins realm. The people of the reincarnation immortal sect also took the ancient ship to the original ruins realm. Waves were rolling on the sea. The sea was blue as far as the eye could see. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey stood on the deck and admired the rolling waves. Fatso nudged Lin Feng and said, Little Lin Feng, look. Isn't that Chu Jiaxuan? This girl is really hot. She's looking at you. Lin Feng looked in the direction Fatso was pointing and saw Chu Jiaxuan. She was standing on the deck with a few of her fellow disciples, looking at the sea. After seeing Lin Feng, Chu Jiaxuan looked at Lin Feng with her big watery eyes. Just as the disciple had said, Chu Jiaxuan's appearance was comparable to the 10 fairies. The only thing that Chu Jiaxuan couldn't compare to the 10 fairies was her cultivation. After all, Chu Jiaxuan hadn't been cultivating for long. If other male disciples were to be fancied by a goddess like Chu Jiaxuan, they would probably faint from happiness. However, Lin Feng refused to interact with Chu Jiaxuan. To Chu Jiaxuan's friends, this was incomprehensible. However, there was a reason why Lin Feng refused to interact with Chu Jiaxuan. Chu Jiaxuan was a gentle and beautiful girl. A girl like her was suitable to find someone who would treat her well wholeheartedly. However, Lin Feng's personality was unrestrained. He wasn't suitable for Chu Jiaxuan. Moreover, Lin Feng wasn't a pervert. He wasn't the kind of person who would chase after beautiful girls. Lin Feng retracted his gaze and looked into the distance. He said, Look, there are ancient ships and cultivators everywhere. I wonder how many cultivators will be attracted to the prodigy ranking this time? The fatty said, They will definitely be like carps crossing the river, countless. This time, the prodigy roll competition will definitely be unprecedentedly lively. I wonder if I will be able to make it into the top 100 and enter the paradise of the 9 continents. Lin Feng grinned and said, With Brother Donkey around, what are you worried about? Little Donkey was amused. He said, That's right. Follow Brother Donkey and you won't harm your teammates. Brother Donkey was a master of golden sentences. He could say a few golden sentences from time to time. 10 days later, the ancient ship of the reincarnation immortal sect finally arrived outside the Yuanxi realm. Looking into the distance, in the depths of the sea, a vast and ancient world appeared before their eyes. The world was shrouded in restrictions. It was hazy and mysterious. This world was the famous Yuanxi realm. Chapter 23:11. The primordial ruins realm had its own rules. Those with a lifespan of more than 1,000 years could not enter. Therefore, only cultivators with a lifespan of less than 1,000 years could participate in the prodigy ranking. Currently, a large number of cultivators had gathered outside the primordial ruins realm, and there were countless experts of the younger generation. It was rare to see so many experts of the younger generation, but the prodigy ranking was too important. Therefore, many hidden geniuses had come this time. Rumble. A deafening sound came from afar as a huge ancient palace flew over. There was a golden plaque on top of the palace. The words Cloudy Palace were written on it. Cloudy Palace? Is that one of the 12 immortal palaces of the Taishang immortal sect? Someone said in surprise. The 12 immortal palaces of the Taishang immortal sect were said to have descended from the heavenly realm. Therefore, they had endless wonders. Moreover, the 12 immortal palaces were closely related to the supreme immortal artifacts of the Taishang immortal sect. Wherever the 12 immortal palaces passed, the gods would avoid them and the demons would bow their heads. The Taishang immortal sect will probably have many young experts this time. Every time the prodigy ranking is held, the Taishang immortal sect will have shocking geniuses. For example, during the previous prodigy ranking, Dugu Tian was only in his 20s at that time, right? He actually made it into the top 20. How unimaginable. I wonder if there's another genius as monstrous as Dugu Tian this time? It's said that the Taishang immortal sect found a few holy children more than 10 years ago. They are extremely talented and have been heavily nurtured. They are probably as monstrous as Dugu Tian. I wonder if Dugu Tian will participate in the prodigy ranking this time. He's just the right age to participate in the next prodigy ranking. I'm not sure. Whether he will participate in the prodigy ranking this time depends on what Dugu Tian thinks. After the people of the Taishang immortal sect arrived, many people began to discuss among themselves. The people of the Supreme Immortal Sect did not come out of the Cloud Palace. After the experts of the Supreme Immortal Sect arrived, many cultivators from the top forces arrived one after another. Top forces such as the Heavenly Tao Immortal Sect, the Sunset Immortal Sect, the Undying Immortal Sect, the Red Dust Immortal Sect, the 10,000 Arts Immortal Sect, the Sword Saint Immortal Sect, the Longevity Immortal Sect, and many others had sent their experts. Lin Feng paid attention to the Ascension Immortal Sect and the Immortal Sect. He had paid attention to the Ascension Celestial Sect because of Huang Fuqing Tian. After all, Huang Fuqing Tian's mother held great authority in the Ascension Celestial Sect. If he killed Huang Fuqing Tian's mother would not let him off. Lin Feng was very curious about what kind of person Huang Fuqing Tian's mother was. It was said that she was also a peerless beauty whose name shook the 9 prefectures. She had a dream. In the dream, she had interacted with the heavens and became pregnant. What a ridiculous thing, but it happened to be real. Lin Feng also wanted to meet this former goddess of the heavens, but he didn't have the chance to do so. Of course, if they did meet one day, both sides would draw their swords and fight to the death. Lin Feng paid attention to the Immortal Sect mainly because he had heard that the Immortal Sect was related to the Immortal Clan. The Immortal Clan was a clan with immortal divine blood flowing in their veins. Lin Feng also had immortal divine blood flowing in his veins. Lin Feng could not help but wonder if he was related to the Immortal Clan. Or was his ancestor related to the Immortal Clan? Therefore, Lin Feng wanted to find out more about the Immortal Clan. He wanted to see if they were really related by blood. Moreover, Lin Feng wanted to know if the mysterious existence who descended from the sky and captured the members of the Lin clan was related to the Immortal Sect or the Immortal Clan. Moan! 9 flood dragons flew over from the distance. The 9-headed flood dragon pulled an ancient bronze chariot as it arrived. Around the bronze chariot were ancient war chariots. Several young cultivators stood on the ancient chariots. They're from the Mu clan of the divine realm of infinite desolation, someone said. The Mu clan of the Heaven Desolate region was a top clan among the ancient clans. They had a long history and were very powerful. The ancestor of the Mu clan was also one of the oldest experts of the older generation in the 9 regions. Back then, Lord Tortoise lost a bet with the ancestor of the Mu clan and sold Lin Feng to form a marriage alliance with the Mu clan. The one who was supposed to marry Lin Feng was the pearl of the Mu clan, Mu Xianling. However, Mu Xianling said that she would marry a heaven-defying genius who would rule the world in the future. Lin Feng was not worthy of Mu Xianling's attention. Of course, Lin Feng was not interested in Mu Xianling either. Therefore, the two of them broke off the engagement. The ancestor of the Mu clan then betrothed Mu Xianshi to Lin Feng. Mu Xianshi's talent and background were not as good as Mu Xianling's, but she was gentle and considerate. Lin Feng liked her. The group of people from the Mu clan stopped in the void. Lin Feng saw Mu Xianling and Mu Xiang'a on an ancient chariot from afar. Sister, isn't that Lin Feng? Mu Xiang'a's eyes were sharp. He pointed at Lin Feng, who was standing on the deck of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect's ancient chariot. Mu Xianling glanced at Lin Feng and said indifferently, "So what if he is? In my eyes, he has nothing to do with a passerby." Mu Xiang'a had found trouble with Lin Feng before, but he was beaten up by Du Zhu. He was still traumatized. Said Mu Xiang'a, "Sister, I don't think Lin Feng is a piece of trash. His guards are extremely strong. Besides, since Mu Xianxue replaced you and got married to Lin Feng, her social status in the clan has risen. She's even practicing cultivation with the ancestor now. You can see how important Mu Xianxue is to the clan. In the past, Mu Xianxue didn't have any social status in the clan. She was just a servant's daughter. She couldn't even compare to the daughter of a concubine. Mu Xianling said, "Maybe it's because of his master, Lord Turtle. It's said that he's very strong. However, how can this Lin Feng be compared to those top geniuses? In my eyes, he's just a nobody." Mu Xianling wanted to say something, but Mu Xianling said, "All right, let's not talk about him anymore." Mu Xianling could only nod and stop talking about him. More and more top powers arrived. There were even some hidden clans among them. The strength of these reclusive families was extremely terrifying. Ordinary people could not afford to offend them. Buzz! The magic lotus tore through the void and quickly flew out, surrounded by endless demonic qi. When Lin Feng saw the magic lotus, his eyes narrowed. The magic lotus should be Gongziyu's the magic lotus. He didn't expect that Gongziyu would also come. As the son of the Sky Demon Emperor, Gongziyu's talent was quite heaven-defying. This time, Gongziyu had secured a spot in the top 20. Lin Feng didn't think that there would be any problems. With Gongziyu's cultivation and treasures, even if Gongziyu entered the top 10 or even top 3, Lin Feng wouldn't make a fuss. Chapter 23:12. It's the demon world's the magic lotus. It's a sacred artifact of the demon world. Many major figures looked at the magic lotus with burning gazes. The magic lotus was a supreme demonic root nurtured by heaven and earth. The magic lotus could even nurture the strongest demons. It was a treasure that could drive anyone crazy. Gongziyu stepped out of the magic lotus. The magic lotus kept shrinking until it flew into Gongziyu's body. Who is he? How can he wield the magic lotus? Many people were puzzled. They did not know who Gongziyu was. Back then, Gongziyu had stirred up a storm in the Sky Martial continent, turning it into a bloodbath. However, after coming to the 9 prefectures, he kept a low profile. Thus, very few people knew who he was. Lin Feng knew about Gongziyu's background, but he would not reveal it. He should be an extraordinary figure in the demon world, right? He seems to be a heavenly demon. A heavenly demon? Is the ancient demon race here? I heard that the heavenly demons were created by the ancient demon race. I wonder if that's true? Nonsense. No matter how powerful the ancient demon race is, they can't possibly create a race as powerful as the heavenly demons. However, the ancient demon race did enslave the heavenly demons for a very long time. Later on, the heavenly demons gradually broke free from the ancient demon race's control. Many people whispered among themselves. In another direction, many figures were standing in a cloud of demonic mist. Those people were the experts of the ancient demon race. Back then, the heavenly demons were only slaves of the ancient demon race. Even now, the ancient demon race is unable to control the magic lotus. A heavenly demon descendant actually controls the magic lotus. How ironic! Enter the battlefield of geniuses, kill that person, and snatch the magic lotus. Yes. Following that, a group of people quickly answered. Do you see that? That person is a top-tier genius. My future husband will definitely be a heaven-defying genius like him. Mu Xianling pointed at Gongziyu. She stared at Gongziyu without blinking. Mu Xianling was surprised to see Gongziyu flying toward Lin Feng. Sister, what's going on? Why is that person flying toward Lin Feng? Is he going to greet Lin Feng? Mu Xianling asked. How is Lin Feng qualified to be greeted by such a top-tier expert? Said Mu Xianling while smiling coldly. Maybe Lin Feng has offended that person. Because that person is Lin Feng. Mu Xianling muttered in his heart. He instinctively felt that this matter wouldn't be so simple. Xianling Lin? Gongziyu looked at Lin Feng indifferently. If you're not dead, would I die before you? Lin Feng replied indifferently. In the Tianwu continent, the relationship between the two was like fire and water. Lin Feng's Samsara Devil Palace was even snatched from Gongziyu. However, so many years had passed. Now, in the 9 prefectures, Lin Feng and Gongziyu's relationship was no longer as bad as before. Furthermore, a few years ago, when they were celebrating the Red World Fairy's birthday, Lin Feng had once reached an agreement with Gongziyu. In the future, he would let Gongziyu use his The Magic Lotus to sense the location of Mosei Tianzuan's The Magic Lotus. Lin Feng intended to snatch Mosei Tianzuan's The Magic Lotus. Gongziyu had also agreed. Gongziyu glanced at Lin Feng and said indifferently, "I heard that you've already met the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son?" "That's right." "Why? Did he offend you?" Lin Feng looked at Gongziyu and asked. "No, he didn't." Gongziyu shook his head and said, "However, the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son has something that I need." "What a coincidence. The Heavenly Demon Emperor's son has something that I need as well." Lin Feng smiled. Gongziyu smiled and said, "All right, we'll contact each other when the time comes." "No problem." Lin Feng nodded. Following which, Gongziyu flew off into the distance. Although Mu Xiang'e had never seen Lin Feng in action, he had always felt that Lin Feng was not simple. When he saw Lin Feng chatting happily with Gongziyu, Mu Xiang'e quickly said, "Lin Feng," said Mu Xiang'e hastily. "Sister, something's wrong. Lin Feng and the Demon Lotus Master are chatting happily. Are they friends? There's a saying that goes, like friends, like friends. Those who aren't in the same circle won't be able to blend in. Since Lin Feng is chatting happily with the Master of the Magic Lotus, doesn't that mean that Lin Feng is as strong as the Master of the Magic Lotus?" Mu Xiang'e sneered and said, "You're overthinking things. Do you think someone like Lin Feng is worthy? Do you think that you're on the same level as those top-notch young masters just because you can chat with them?" Mu Xiang'e said gloomily, "We're talking about Lin Feng. Why are you dragging me into this?" 5 days later, a huge vortex appeared above the original ruins realm. Clearly, the gate to the original ruins realm was about to open. Wu Yong, the patriarch of the Reincarnation Immortal sect, gathered all the disciples who were participating in the Prodigy ranking tournament. He began explaining the rules and things to take note of. Wu Yong said, "The original ruins realm is divided into 3 parts. The first part is called the 8 Heavens. There are many opportunities waiting to be found in the 8 Heavens. Once you enter the 8 Heavens, you must remember to collect as much Draconic Chi as possible. The Draconic Chi is equivalent to an entry ticket to the Prodigy training grounds. There will be more opportunities waiting to be found in the Prodigy training grounds. However, there are many treasures sealed in the Prodigy training grounds. Opening the seals will require Draconic Chi. Therefore, no matter what, don't forget to subdue the Draconic Chi you see and collect it. The more Draconic Chi you collect, the better." As for the third part of the original ruins realm, it's called the Prodigy Tower. Very few people have made it this far. When the time comes, you must ascend the Prodigy Tower. Fatso asked, "What are the rewards for those who rank at the top?" "You'll be rewarded with providence. The higher you rank, the more providence you'll receive," Wu Yong said. A cultivator's breakthrough required the support of providence. Some people had extremely strong accumulations, but they couldn't break through because they didn't have enough providence. It was too difficult to devour providence. Wu Yong continued, "Of course, there are other rewards aside from providence, such as the 3,000 great Daos, immortal techniques, immortal essences, and so on." Many people couldn't help but gasp when they heard Wu Yong's words. No wonder so many people were participating in the Prodigy ranking tournament. The rewards were too amazing. Wu Yong continued, "Most importantly, the top 100 of the Prodigy ranking can enter the 9 States Paradise. Legend has it that the 9 States Paradise can sense the door of everlasting life." Chapter 23:13. The legend of the Door of Everlasting Life had a long history. It was related to the secret of immortality, so it was naturally an ability that everyone dreamed of. Moreover, it was rumored that the door of everlasting life had many other secrets. It was rumored that even the Tao of Fate was related to the door of everlasting life. The various opportunities in the primordial ruins realm were extremely shocking. As long as one could obtain enough opportunities in the primordial ruins realm, even if one did not obtain anything in the 9 continents immortal realm, there would be no regrets. Now that Lin Feng and the others understood the various rules of the prodigy roll trial, they began to wait for the primordial ruins realm to open. The huge vortex above the primordial ruins realm became more and more real, gradually turning into a huge 8 trigrams array. The 8 trigrams array was connected to the first part of the primordial ruins realm, the 8 heavens. It was also the outermost region of the primordial ruins realm. The 8 heavens were like the 8 directions of the 8 trigrams array. They were scattered everywhere and somehow complemented the innate 8 trigrams. The cultivators who entered the 8 trigrams array would be teleported to a certain part of the 8 heavens. Another 3 days passed, and the 8 trigrams array in the sky was completed. Everyone can enter the primordial ruins realm in batches. A deep voice resounded between heaven and earth. Lin Feng was shocked. This sounds like a voice coming from the primordial ruins realm. Is there a guardian in the primordial ruins realm? Fatso said. I heard that it's not a guardian, but a realm spirit. A realm spirit? Lin Feng was very surprised. Dharma treasures had weapon spirits and deities. It was normal for a small world like the primordial ruins realm to have a realm spirit. It was just that realm spirits were very rare. Swoosh! Swoosh! A dense crowd of cultivators rushed into the sky, fighting to be the first to enter. You're blocking my way. You must have a death wish. Scram! Some of the cultivators there were more hot-tempered and they quickly rushed forward, slapping the cultivators blocking their way and sending them flying. How dare you touch someone from the Kanglan sect? Are you tired of living? The companions of the cultivators who were sent flying roared and immediately rushed forward to beat up the cultivator who attacked them. Barf! The cultivator who attacked spat out a mouthful of blood, his face as pale as a sheet. Many people started fighting for the chance to enter the primordial ruins realm. Swish, swish, swish. The 8 trigrams teleportation array activated. Divine light flashed and the first batch of cultivators who stepped onto the 8 trigrams teleportation array were teleported out. Immediately after, batch after batch of young cultivators flew towards the 8 trigrams teleportation array. After boarding the 8 trigrams teleportation array, they were teleported out. The Sky Demon Emperor's son stepped towards the 8 trigrams teleportation array. After seeing the son of the Sky Demon Emperor, many people avoided him like he was a snake or scorpion, not daring to approach him. The Sky Demon Emperor's son was just too intimidating. Lin Feng, I'll be waiting to meet you in the Origin Ruins world. At that time, I'll crush you like a bug. The son of the Sky Demon Emperor looked at Lin Feng indifferently. His eyes were full of contempt. He didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Then, the Sky Demon Emperor's son stepped into the 8 trigrams teleportation array and was teleported into the 8 heavens of the primordial ruins realm. Lin Feng is being targeted by the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son. Will he really be killed by the Heavenly Demon Emperor's son? Mu Xiang'e could not help but mutter. The son of the Sky Demon Emperor can crush him as easily as crushing an ant. Well, don't mention this person in front of me anymore. This person is just a passerby in my life. He doesn't have the qualifications to attract my attention at all, Mu Xianling said in a low voice. Mu Xianling then flew towards the 8 trigrams teleportation array. Mu Xiang'e and many other young elites from the Mu clan followed suit. These people were also teleported away. Not long after, Lin Feng, Fatso, Little Donkey, and many other disciples from the Reincarnation Immortal sect also boarded the 8 trigrams teleportation array. Swoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng felt himself being enveloped by a strange energy. In the next moment, Lin Feng disappeared without a trace. When Lin Feng reappeared, he found himself in a mountain forest. Towering trees could be seen everywhere in the forest. They were so large that it would take hundreds of people to wrap their arms around them. The heaven and earth spiritual energy here was extremely dense. It was 100 times denser than the heaven and earth spiritual energy in the outside world. Lin Feng was shocked. If he were to cultivate here, his cultivation speed would be 100 times faster than the outside world. The green grass adorns the mountain forest. The fresh flowers are so beautiful and moving. Today's sun is so bright and beautiful. I'm waiting for the arrival of my lover. Suddenly, Lin Feng heard a beautiful song coming from afar. He was extremely shocked. Who was singing? Lin Feng followed the song and walked forward. The mountain forest was extremely quiet. Only the song that reverberated in the forest did not dissipate. Among the green mountains and clear waters, I'm holding the hand of my lover, enjoying this rare peace. If it's really possible, how I wish this moment would last forever. The song was so beautiful. Even though it was the most beautiful celestial music, it could not be compared to the song in front of him. Lin Feng finally saw the woman who was singing. She was sitting in front of a pool. Her back was facing Lin Feng. It was a beautiful back view, with a head of beautiful black hair draped over her shoulders. Her slender waist could be grasped. Her feet were bare. Right now, her fair, jade-like feet had reached into the pool of water, and she was playfully paddling the pool water. She did not seem to have sensed Lin Feng's arrival. She was still singing. The wind blows away the haze, bringing hope. The wind blows away the leaves, bringing away the song. But my voice brought me my lover. The woman was still singing. Lin Feng was infected by the woman's singing. He was very eager to see what the woman looked like. Lin Feng was also very curious. Was he the lover that the woman was talking about? My lover, please come and hold my hand. I want to walk with you in the mountain forest. My lover, please come and hold my body. I want to feel the sound of your heart beating. My lover, please kiss my lips. I want to feel your warmth. The song became more and more erotic. It was slightly seductive. Lin Feng's eyes became more and more confused. The song contained a terrifying power. It made people lose themselves in it and unable to extricate themselves. Even someone as strong as Lin Feng's willpower. After listening to the song, he gradually lost himself. At this moment, Lin Feng saw the woman stand up and turn around. It was a breathtakingly beautiful face. That woman was like a fairy from the moon palace that had fallen into the mortal world. Chapter 23:14. She was so beautiful that when she opened her arms for a warm embrace, who could bear to refuse such a small request from such a beautiful woman? I've been waiting for my lover, and now you've finally come. Her voice was very gentle, and her beautiful face had a warm smile on it that could warm people's hearts. Lin Feng's body was no longer under his control, and there was only one thought left in his mind. He wanted to embrace the fairy-like woman into his embrace, giving her warmth and comfort. However, when Lin Feng was halfway there, his eyelids twitched violently, and the archaic dragonesque elephant art started circulating at an unprecedented speed. A high-level cultivation technique like the archaic dragonesque elephant art had the ability to automatically protect its owner, just like the situation before him. Therefore, Lin Feng came back to his senses and came back to his senses. He opened his eyes, and immediately saw a scene that shocked him. What was in front of him was not a peerlessly beautiful fairy, but an extremely ugly monster. The monster had a human-like body, but it was covered in pitch-black hair. Its head was extremely ugly and huge, like the head of a toad. Its eyes flickered with a sinister gaze, giving people a chilling feeling. Seeing that Lin Feng had recovered, the ugly and terrifying existence directly pounced on Lin Feng. Lin Feng immediately used Sky Splitter, and a shocking saber light slashed out. The void was torn apart. Clang! Along with a sonorous and powerful collision sound, there was a loud sound. The monster's sharp claws slammed onto Lin Feng's saber light, breaking it apart. Then, the monster turned into a cloud of black smoke and rushed into the distance, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. That should be a Huanma, the demon lord said. A Huanma? What kind of creature is that? Lin Feng asked in surprise. This was the first time he had heard of a Huanma. Huanma is a kind of extremely cunning and evil earth demon. Huanma is best at all kinds of bewitching techniques and creating illusions, making people fall into an illusion and unable to extricate themselves. And the Huanma will often attack when the opponent is trapped in the illusion, killing the opponent in one blow, the demon lord said. Lin Feng said, This kind of illusion demon is really quite strange. He didn't stop. He chose a direction and quickly flew away. Roar! Suddenly, a dragon roar came from afar. Lin Feng quickly rushed over. A black dragon flew out of a mountain range. The black dragon had locked onto a dozen cultivators. It's formed by dragon aura. Kill it! The dozen or so cultivators shouted excitedly. The black dragon was not made of flesh and blood. It was formed from the draconic chi of the Yuanxi realm. The draconic chi of the primordial ruins realm was rather special. After fusing with the power of the primordial ruins realm, it took on a physical form. Apart from the fact that they didn't have bodies of flesh and blood, these dragons were no different from real dragons. The strength of the dragon race was extremely strong. Although the cultivation bases of the 10+ cultivators were not weak, there was still a considerable gap between them and the black dragon. 7 or 8 cultivators were killed by the black dragon. The remaining few people fled in a sorry state. The black dragon swallowed the corpses one by one. These huge dragons formed from dragon chi could devour cultivators to increase their own cultivation. The black dragon was the same. After devouring the cultivators' corpses, its aura became much stronger than before. There's another human! I can sense your aura. There's no need to hide anymore. The black dragon's perception was very strong. It let out a series of roars, then opened its bloody mouth and spat out a ball of dragon breath in a direction. Boom! The dragon breath exploded in the forest. Lin Feng rushed out. He looked at the black dragon with a cold smile and said, Your perception is not bad, and your cultivation is not weak. But you've met me today. You're destined to die. Lin Feng quickly flew toward the black dragon and activated the draconic elephant arm. Then, he punched the black dragon. The black dragon looked at Lin Feng icily and said, Despicable little human, surprisingly, you want to compete with the dragon in terms of physical strength. Do you want to die? As the black dragon's voice fell, a loud rumbling sound could be heard. The black dragon's mountain-like claws slammed toward Lin Feng. A claw slammed down. It was as if it could shatter heaven and earth. Although the black dragon's physical body was not made of flesh and blood, its body was still formed from the origin of dragon energy. Therefore, it inherited the powerful characteristics of the dragon's physical body. Therefore, the black dragon was very confident in its physical body. Boom! The two sides collided fiercely. The violent sound of collision was heard. The black dragon's huge body was sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. Lin Feng's draconic elephant arm was already terrifying enough to destroy a planet. Now, Lin Feng's cultivation had increased greatly. The draconic elephant arm was even more powerful. Although the black dragon was tyrannical, it was still far from Lin Feng. Lin Feng took advantage of the situation and rushed forward. He punched 9 times in a row and directly blasted the black dragon's body. The black dragon's huge body turned into a ball of dragon energy. Lin Feng took out a spatial porcelain bottle and sealed the dragon energy inside. Ha ha! I finally got a ball of dragon energy. Lin Feng could not help but smile. He continued to collect dragon energy in the forest. Not long after, Lin Feng came to the side of a waterfall. Below the waterfall was a huge pool. In the pool, there were gray dragons floating. These gray dragons were also formed from dragon energy. There were a total of 12 gray dragons. These gray dragons had powerful senses. As soon as Lin Feng arrived, the gray dragons sensed him. The human is here! The human is here! Great, it's time for our hunt! The gray dragons began to roar loudly. The foreign cultivators wanted to collect dragon energy. And these dragons formed from dragon energy were also spying on the flesh and soul of the cultivators. This was because they could increase their strength by devouring the flesh and soul of the cultivators. Rumble! A series of loud noises were heard. The bodies of these gray dragons were abnormally huge. The shortest one was 300 to 400 meters long, and the longest one was close to 1,000 meters long. With so many gray dragons besieging him, Lin Feng's fighting spirit was also high. He rushed forward and engaged in a fierce battle with the 12 gray dragons. The two sides were locked in battle. Lin Feng's body was almost torn in half by the sharp claws of a gray dragon. The strength of these gray dragons was not bad. After a fierce battle, Lin Feng paid the price of being seriously injured. He killed the 12 gray dragons. After killing these gray dragons, he sealed all the dragon energy that they had turned into. At this time, streams of light flew over from the distance. A total of more than 20 cultivators descended from the sky. Chapter 23:15. These people had powerful auras. They were clearly experts. In truth, which of the cultivators who dared to participate in the genius ranking contest wasn't an expert? Not bad, kid. You actually killed 12 gray dragons by yourself. A young master in a golden brocade robe said with a faint smile. This person was exceptionally handsome. Lin Feng felt the urge to punch this guy's face until it was crippled. What's the matter? Lin Feng asked calmly. Hand over the dragon aura, and we'll let you go. If you don't, we'll make this place your burial ground, the young master in golden robe said. Lin Feng was already used to seeing two people fighting over treasures in the world of cultivators. Therefore, Lin Feng was still very calm when he encountered such a situation. A bunch of small fries like you want to snatch the dragon energy from me? Did you guys get kicked in the head by a donkey? Do you believe that I can squash you to death with just a flick of my finger? Lin Feng looked at the group with an arrogant tone. Hearing Lin Feng's words, the group exploded with anger. They had the advantage in numbers, and each of them was an expert. On the other hand, Lin Feng? He had just gone through a huge battle and had yet to recover from his injuries. Yet he dared to look down on them. Everyone lived with a face. Buddha fights for a joss stick. Being looked down upon and ignored by Lin Feng, the group of young masters naturally couldn't tolerate this humiliation. A young master in blue coldly looked at Lin Feng and said, Kid, who do you think you are? How dare you act so arrogantly in front of us? Lin Feng pointed at the young master in blue and said, Just that sentence alone is enough for you to die 100 times over. However, on account of the heaven's benevolence, I won't kill you today. Kneel on the ground and kowtow to me 10 times, and I'll spare you. Otherwise, I'll beat you up so badly that even your mother won't be able to recognize you. Do you believe me? The corner of the young master's mouth twitched violently. He shouted angrily, Brat, how dare you be so arrogant in front of me? You're courting death. The blue-clothed young master leaped out and punched towards Lin Feng. Smack! Lin Feng moved as fast as lightning. He slapped the blue-clothed young master's face and sent him flying more than 10 meters away. Pff. The blue-clothed young master spurted out blood in midair. There were a few teeth mixed in with the blood. Then, he fell to the ground with a plop, occasionally letting out miserable howls of pain. Lin Feng's slap just now almost slapped the blue-clothed young master half to death. This kid isn't simple. Everyone, let's attack him together. The golden-clothed young master's face suddenly sank, and he couldn't help but shout sternly. The golden-robed young master was clearly the leader of this group of people, and he was very convinced by this person's words. After hearing the golden-robed young master's words, the group of people immediately rushed towards Lin Feng. Clap, 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 clap. Lin Feng rushed into the crowd. Accompanied by the sound of slaps one after another, figures were sent flying backward. A bloody palm print appeared on each of their faces. Their faces were swollen, and they fell to the ground and wailed in pain. Lin Feng stepped on the golden-clothed young master's chest and looked down at him with an indifferent expression. You dare to snatch this young master's things with such little strength? You really don't know life from death. Now tell me, how should I deal with you people? Should I just kill you? Or throw you into the beast's lair to feed the beasts? Hearing Lin Feng's words, the golden-clothed young master and the others' faces turned green. Spare us, we were wrong. This young master, this big brother, this ancestor, please be magnanimous and forgive us. The golden-clothed young master and the others immediately begged. After all, there were a few experts in their group. For example, the golden-clothed young master was at the second layer of the giant god realm. Among the younger generation of cultivators, he could definitely be called a top-notch expert. Couldn't he walk sideways wherever he went? Aside from the golden-clothed young master, there were two other top-notch geniuses at the first layer of the giant god realm. The rest were also at the heavenly god realm. However, there were so many cultivators who could be called top-notch geniuses wherever they went. In front of Lin Feng, they didn't even have the strength to resist. These people weren't stupid. They naturally understood that this was because the gap between the two sides was too big, resulting in such an outcome. Now, the best thing to do was to beg for mercy. Although these people had powerful backing behind them. However, a power that could nurture a freakish genius like Lin Feng wouldn't be afraid of the power behind them. Moreover, using the power behind them to threaten Lin Feng was clearly a very stupid decision. If they angered Lin Feng and Lin Feng killed everyone in a fit of rage, then they would want to cry but have no tears. This kind of thing was not impossible. Therefore, these people began to beg for mercy. A real man knows when to yield and when not to. These people comforted themselves. Seeing that Lin Feng hadn't said anything, the golden-clothed young master immediately worried that Lin Feng had the intention to kill them. In the vast and boundless Yuanxi realm, they would have died in vain if they were killed. Therefore, the golden-clothed young master hurriedly said, "We are willing to contribute our dragon aura." "Just contributing dragon aura isn't enough," Lin Feng said indifferently. "What else do you want?" the golden-clothed young master asked. "How about this? Contribute your storage rings as well, and I will spare your lives," Lin Feng said. The group of people suddenly looked like they wanted to cry but had no tears. However, in order to live, they could only obediently contribute their storage rings. It was a pity that the various treasures and wealth inside would now belong to someone else. At the thought of this, everyone felt like vomiting blood. This group of people collected a total of 5 clumps of dragon aura. It was quite good to be able to collect so much dragon aura in such a short time. After taking the dragon aura and their storage rings, Lin Feng flew into the distance. After Lin Feng left, the group of people heaved a sigh of relief. "My storage ring! My family's heirloom is inside," Yifutian murmured. Then, someone wailed. "That's all my savings over the years. The treasures I accumulated through many fortuitous encounters. All my wealth is in the storage ring." "Me too. That guy is simply a bastard. He didn't leave anything for us. Everyone, it's good enough that we are still alive. If we lose our treasures and wealth, we can still find more. If we lose our lives, then it's really over. Let's go and rob the next target. This time, we'll choose our targets properly." Chapter 23:16. Lin Feng checked the storage rings of these people and found that there were really a lot of good things inside. There were all kinds of magic treasures, origin crystals, heaven and earth treasures, and so on. It could be considered a windfall. In the next few days, Lin Feng had been looking for dragon chi everywhere. Not all of the dragon chi had turned into a giant dragon. Only the most powerful dragon chi had successfully transformed. Many of the dragon chi had not been able to transform into a giant dragon. And the dragon chi that had not transformed into a giant dragon was obviously easier to deal with. There were a total of 5 levels in the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. Entering the first level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo required 100 strands of dragon chi. Entering the second level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo required 200 strands of dragon chi. Entering the third level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo required 300 strands of dragon chi. Entering the 4th level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo required 400 strands of dragon chi. Entering the 5th level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo required 500 strands of dragon chi. Adding it all together, it required 1,500 strands of dragon chi. This was only the dragon chi required to pass through the 5th level of the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. There were many opportunities in the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. For example, some ancient cultivators' caves, secret treasures, and so on. To open the seals of these places and obtain the opportunities within, one would also need a large amount of dragon chi. Therefore, at this stage, countless cultivators were trying their best to collect as much dragon chi as possible. Dragon chi was hard to find. There were too many cultivators. In order to obtain dragon chi, one could see cultivators killing each other everywhere. Lin Feng had also been robbed 5 or 6 times, but each time, the person who robbed him was beaten half to death by Lin Feng, and the dragon chi on his body was plundered by Lin Feng. Lin Feng found that he had only found 20 strands of dragon chi after desperately searching for dragon chi for several days. But after dealing with those cultivators who robbed him, he had snatched more than 40 strands of dragon chi from them. Lin Feng made a decision. He decided to be a robber with integrity. When Lin Feng participated in the underground city's City Lord trial, he and Xian Yueling formed the fearsome male and female duo. They robbed cultivators of their golem hearts everywhere. Therefore, Lin Feng was no stranger to robbing. Clang, 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 the sounds of an intense battle rang out from the distant mountain forest. Lin Feng quickly flew over and found 2 groups of cultivators engaged in a fierce battle. The corpses of more than 10 cultivators lay on the ground. The eyes of both sides were completely bloodshot. These 2 groups of cultivators now had a total of 60 to 70 people. Their strength was balanced. Therefore, it was not easy to determine a winner in a short period of time. By the time the outcome of the battle was decided, more than half of them would have died. Lin Feng jumped out of the forest with the wolverine-spiked mace on his shoulder. He shouted, "Stop robbing, stop robbing! Hand over everything you have. Draconic chi, magic treasures, origin crystals, and everything else. I want all of them!" When the cultivators from both sides heard Lin Feng's words, they were all stunned. Then, many people couldn't help but be speechless. Was this kid courting death? One person actually wanted to rob all of them? "Let's get rid of this brat first," a cultivator said. "That's right. Let's get rid of this reckless brat first, then we'll settle our grudges," a cultivator from another group of cultivators also said coldly. "Kill!" Suddenly, the group of cultivators stopped fighting and roared as they charged towards Lin Feng. "It seems like you guys don't know how powerful I am," Lin Feng snorted coldly. He grabbed the wolverine-spiked mace with both hands. He shouted loudly. He directly smashed the wolverine-spiked mace on the ground. Rumble! All of a sudden, waves of destructive energy surged out, with Lin Feng as the center. The destructive energy spread out in all directions. Bang, bang, bang! The cultivators who surrounded Lin Feng were all sent flying. They all coughed up blood and their faces were as pale as paper. Lin Feng's attack was simply too powerful. It almost took the lives of these cultivators. Many people fell to the ground and wailed. They looked at Lin Feng as if they were looking at a demon. "Come, come, come! If you want to live, line up and hand over your storage rings," Lin Feng grinned and said. Many people wailed in their hearts. Who the hell is this guy? Why was he so sick? Whoosh, 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 a few cultivators directly rushed into the sky, wanting to escape. They were obviously unwilling to hand over their storage rings. "You're courting death!" Lin Feng sneered and directly smashed the wolverine-spiked mace. An invisible force surged out from the wolverine-spiked mace. Then, it ruthlessly bombarded the bodies of those cultivators. Bang, bang, bang! Along with the dull sound of collision, there was a sound of collision. The bodies of those cultivators who tried to escape directly exploded, and they died on the spot. Lin Feng didn't feel pity for those cultivators. Cultivators had to go against the will of the heavens. Any cultivator who reached the pinnacle would have to step on white bones. Seeing that a few cultivators who tried to escape were instantly killed, the rest of the people also became much more obedient. Everyone obediently lined up and handed over their storage rings to Lin Feng. Many people's hearts were bleeding. But in order to live, they had to hand it over even if they didn't want to. The few of you, take off the storage rings of those dead cultivators and hand them to me. Lin Feng pointed at a few cultivators. A few cultivators hurriedly took off the storage rings of those dead cultivators and handed them to Lin Feng. Lin Feng took these people's storage rings and left. After Lin Feng left, these two groups of cultivators looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Lin Feng did not kill them. It was a blessing in disguise. In the next half a month, Lin Feng went around snatching the storage rings of cultivators. In just half a month, he collected more than 4,000 balls of dragon chi. On average, he could collect about 300 balls of dragon chi every day. This was much easier than searching for dragon chi himself. And in this area, there was another cultivator who was abnormally powerful. He was also robbing the dragon chi collected by other cultivators. This cultivator also had many followers around him. This cultivator called himself Young Master Long Ke. Dragon sparrows were the most ancient sacred beasts. Legend had it that dragon sparrows had the bloodline of innate lifeforms flowing in them, so they were abnormally terrifying. Since ancient times, whenever a dragon sparrow was born, it would definitely alarm everyone. This young Master Long Ke was one of the best in the younger generation of the dragon sparrow clan. Even though he wasn't the number one genius in the heaven-defying realm, he was still a genius. He was ranked in the top 3 among the dragon sparrow clan. Young Master, it's said that someone discovered a mysterious dragon lake. There are many giant dragons living in that dragon lake. Those giant dragons are all transformed from dragon chi. Moreover, those giant dragons seem to be guarding a mysterious dragon cave. A cultivator said. Oh? Dragon cave? That's quite interesting. Young Master Long Ke soared into the sky and said, Let's go and take a look at the dragon lake. Young Master, please follow me. The cultivator said and led the way. Chapter 23:17. At night, heavy rain poured down. Lin Feng was hiding in a cave to avoid the rain. Bestial roars could be heard from time to time, reverberating through the forest and shaking the void for a long time. A beast with spikes all over its body was engaged in a fierce battle with another beast covered in armor. It was hard to tell who was the winner. Large areas of the forest were destroyed in the battle between the two beasts. Why are these two beasts fighting so fiercely? Are they fighting for something? Lin Feng looked at the two ferocious beasts in the distance. Those two ferocious beasts were extremely strong. Lin Feng was scared of them. The original ruins realm was not a simple place. There were terrifying beasts everywhere, and the slightest carelessness could kill a cultivator in the original ruins realm. Roar! The two beasts roared. Every ferocious beast exuded a wave of destructive power. Bang! 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 The two beasts fought even more fiercely as their huge claws clashed again and again. Every time they collided, it was as if the earth quaked and mountains shook. The two beasts were fighting fiercely. They were fighting with their lives on the line. I'll go kill these two beasts and find out why they're fighting. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and muttered to himself. Just as he was about to take action, a ball of bloody light flew over from afar. It was a ball of demonic blood, emitting a terrifying aura as it shrouded the two beasts. Demonic blood! Lin Feng felt his scalp tingle when he saw the ball of demonic blood. This ball of demonic blood had chased after Lin Feng a few times before, so Lin Feng had a deep impression of it. Lin Feng did not know where the demonic blood came from, but it was extremely terrifying. Now that it had sneaked into the original ruins realm, it surprised him. However, demonic blood was not considered a living being, so it did not have a lifespan. This might be the reason why it could enter the original ruins realm. After seeing the demonic blood, Lin Feng concealed his aura completely. What would happen if the demonic blood saw him? It would definitely hunt him down all over the world. Roar! Roar! After being enveloped by the demonic blood, the two ferocious beasts roared furiously. The large number of ferocious beasts began to struggle violently, but their struggles were futile. Although the two ferocious beasts were powerful, they were unable to resist the demonic blood. Not only was the demonic blood powerful, it was also too demonic. He was an existence that was almost impossible to contend against. Under the attack of the demonic blood, the blood of the two ferocious beasts was completely devoured, and the two ferocious beasts turned into dried corpses. They are actually trying to snatch this item. A pleasantly surprised voice came from the demon blood. The demonic blood had a spirit. This should be the voice of the demon blood spirit. The demon blood spirit seemed to have obtained something inconceivable, and was extremely excited. The demon blood flew into the distance. Lin Feng finally let out a long breath. But at this moment, the demonic blood suddenly stopped. Something's not right. I sense a familiar aura. The demon blood spirit's voice sounded again. Not good. He must have discovered my aura. This devil blood is really strange. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. Schwa. He used the void travel technique and directly traveled more than a dozen miles. Not long after, the demonic blood caught up. Kiki, kid, so it's you. Looks like my senses were not wrong. Don't you think that we are fated? To think that we would actually encounter each other here. The demon blood spirit let out a sinister laughter. This laughter was even more unpleasant than the wailing of a malicious spirit, causing Lin Feng to shudder. Who the hell would be fated with you? I will walk my path, and you will cross your single-plank bridge. Stop following me! Lin Feng shouted when he saw the demon blood chasing after him. The demon blood spirit let out a strange laugh. If I don't devour such a powerful bloodline, I will be punished by the heavens. Lin Feng could not help but feel speechless. Damn it, there are so many powerful bloodlines out there. Why do you keep staring at me? There are indeed many powerful bloodlines out there. However, after such a long time, your bloodline is the strongest I have ever seen. There is no other bloodline stronger than yours. If I don't devour you, who should I devour? The demon blood said sinisterly. He did not hide his desire for Lin Feng's bloodline in the slightest. Right now, the only thing the demon blood wanted was to devour Lin Feng's bloodline. He had a feeling that if he could devour Lin Feng's bloodline, his cultivation would recover substantially. The demonic blood was too eager to regain the strength of its former glory. With his current strength, there were many things he could not do. This made the demon blood feel extremely sullen. Lin Feng flew for a long time, but he still could not shake off the demon blood. In the end, he had no choice but to take out a void doubt platform. Originally, Lin Feng had 8 void doubt platforms. However, he had used all 8 in order to avoid the supremacy's pursuit. Because the materials needed to refine a void doubt platform were too difficult to find, Lin Feng had only managed to find 1 piece of divine jade. Thus, he had refined the void doubt platform in front of him. Lin Feng had not wanted to use the void doubt platform. It was a treasure that could save his life at a critical moment. But now, to get rid of the demon blood, he had no choice but to use it. Whoosh! The void doubt platform was activated, and Lin Feng disappeared without a trace. Void doubt platform! Damn it! Damn it! The demon blood roared angrily. In the next moment, Lin Feng appeared in a cave 100 miles away. As soon as he appeared, a scorching aura filled the air. A giant claw the size of a mountain descended from the sky, heading straight for Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at the owner of the claw. It was a huge fire dragon. The void doubt platform was a random teleportation. This time, Lin Feng was sent to the fire dragon's lair. Because of this, Lin Feng was attacked by the fire dragon. Arm of the dragon elephant! Shouted Lin Feng in a deep voice. He then threw a punch at the gigantic fire dragon. Bang! With the sound of a violent collision, the fire dragon was sent flying by Lin Feng. There was a loud crash. The fire dragon's huge body slammed into the surrounding rock walls. The fire dragon couldn't help but roar furiously. It opened its mouth and spat out dragon breath at Lin Feng. Lin Feng dodged the dragon's breath. The fire dragon spat out a dense cluster of fireballs at Lin Feng. The fire dragon was abnormally strong, but it was not Lin Feng's opponent. Lin Feng quickly rushed forward and punched the fire dragon 9 times in a row. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. The fire dragon's huge body exploded, turning into a cloud of dragon chi. Lin Feng sealed the dragon chi formed by the fire dragon. Chapter 23:18. What was in the passageway? It was actually emitting such a scorching power. Lin Feng walked towards the passageway step by step. The heatwave was monstrous and swept over. The closer he got to the passageway, the more intense the heatwave became. Lin Feng was extremely shocked. When he reached the passageway, balls of flames ignited in the void. Flames of the void! Lin Feng looked at the balls of flames. He revealed a shocked expression. Void fire was usually a void fire caused by some kind of external force. This kind of external force included many things, such as some terrain, magic treasures, natural treasures, and so on. They could all form void fire. Void fire was actually produced in this place. It was obviously not simple. Moreover, the temperature was so high. The void fire produced here was probably incomparably powerful. Lin Feng walked in step by step. As he went deeper, the surrounding void started to distort slightly. Ordinary cultivators would find it difficult to withstand such a high temperature. Because the void fire was densely packed in the void, ordinary cultivators would have been burned to ashes long ago. Only cultivators like Lin Feng, who could control heavenly fire, could move unimpeded in such an environment. The passageway was very long and very winding. Suddenly, Lin Feng heard a rustling sound. It sounded like something was crawling quickly on the ground. After hearing this sound, Lin Feng could not help but frown slightly. It seemed like something was rushing out quickly. He looked inside warily and soon saw a dense crowd of fire scorpion ants crawling out. These fire scorpion ants had ant-like bodies and scorpion-like tails. Moreover, the scorpion tails were highly poisonous. Once stung by these ants, there was a high chance of death. The dense crowd of fire scorpion ants directly pounced on Lin Feng. There was an army of fire scorpion ants here. If he dared to barge in, he would definitely be eaten clean by the fire scorpion ants. Therefore, Lin Feng's expression turned solemn when he saw this scene. With so many fire scorpion ants, Lin Feng naturally had to be careful. He first took out the purple gold heavenly ball. The purple gold heavenly ball formed a defensive light shield, protecting Lin Feng from the fire scorpion ants' attacks. Then, Lin Feng took out 4 types of heavenly fire to attack these fire scorpion ants. What shocked Lin Feng was that the heavenly fire did not burn these fire scorpion ants to death. Fire scorpion ants were fire creatures born from fire. These fire creatures had a relatively big characteristic. These fire-type creatures could adapt to any kind of fire, even heavenly fire. Therefore, Lin Feng's heavenly fire could not burn the fire scorpion ants. The fire scorpion ants were already moving towards Lin Feng. They crawled all over Lin Feng's body. The fire scorpion ants were innumerable. Then, the fire scorpion ants started nibbling at Lin Feng's protective light. The teeth of the fire scorpion ants were extremely sharp. Gotcha! Lin Feng's protective layer was cracking bit by bit. These fire scorpion ants are actually so powerful. Lin Feng was shocked. Then he frowned. These fire scorpion ants were not easy to deal with. You can try using the white jade toad. It might be able to disperse the fire scorpion ants, said the demon lord. Lin Feng nodded and summoned the white jade toad. The white jade toad's main ability was to expel poison. Of course, the white jade toad also had extremely powerful combat strength. However, it had only evolved twice. Many heaven-defying abilities had yet to be awakened. Therefore, Lin Feng did not have much confidence in the white jade toad's ability to repel the fire scorpion ants. Croak, croak, croak! The white jade toad cried loudly after being summoned, as if trying to scare the fire scorpion ants away. However, the fire scorpion ants did not pay any attention to the white jade toad. Lin Feng could not help but smile bitterly. The white jade toad's deterrence did not seem to have any effect on these fire scorpion ants. If that was the case, he could only leave this tunnel. The white jade toad became angry. Croak, croak, croak! Then, the white jade toad cried out again. This time, the white jade toad used a special pronunciation rhythm. And this particular rhythm of pronunciation sounded very much like chanting an incantation. Of course, Lin Feng was not a toad, so he did not understand the toad's language. What he had just said was just his guess. However, Lin Feng seemed to have guessed correctly. As the white jade toad cried out, a terrifying fluctuation was emitted from its body. A mysterious, magnetic field spread out. This magnetic field was called the poison domain. It was a powerful ability the white jade toad had obtained after its second evolution. The fire scorpion ants were enveloped by the white jade toad's poison domain. The fire scorpion ants' bodies began to dissolve. What a powerful ability! Lin Feng was shocked. The white jade toad was indeed worthy of being called a top-notch member of the Stone Clan. It had only evolved twice, and it was already so powerful. He really did not know how terrifying the white jade toad would be after its 9th evolution. The fire scorpion ants were severely injured, so they did not dare to continue attacking Lin Feng. Instead, they quickly scattered and fled in all directions. Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief. The white jade toad looked at Lin Feng. It croaked 3 times, as if it was asking for credit. Lin Feng patted the white jade toad to encourage it. Then, he put the white jade toad into his mountain river ring. He continued to walk deeper into the tunnel. Without the threat of the fire scorpion ants, Lin Feng's path was unobstructed. Soon, he reached the deepest part of the tunnel. In the depths of the tunnel, there was a fiery red crystal floating in the void. The space around the fiery red crystal began to twist violently. Fiery sun crystal! The demon lord was shocked. What is this thing? Lin Feng asked in astonishment. This was the first time he had heard of the fiery sun crystal. The fiery sun crystal should be a very precious treasure. Otherwise, the demon lord would not be so shocked. The demon lord said, "This is a type of sun spirit. Moreover, it is an extremely rare sun spirit. It is also one of the best materials for refining magic treasures." Oh? One of the best materials for refining magic treasures? Does that mean this fiery sun crystal can increase the grade of magic treasures? Lin Feng said in astonishment. That's right. The fiery sun crystal can increase the grade of magic treasures. This is a treasure that everyone dreams of. You can use this treasure to refine your natal magic treasure, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp. The Demon Lord said. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Lin Feng's natal magic treasure, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp, was still at the Heavenly Divine Weapon level. With this fiery sun crystal, the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp should be able to break through to the Giant Divine Weapon level. Chapter 23:19. The Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was different from ordinary magic weapons. Because the material used to forge the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was too extraordinary. The Primal Chaos Origin Chi was integrated into the mysterious Yellow Origin. Such a material was enough to make the Great Emperor go crazy. If the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was compared to a cultivator, then the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was undoubtedly the most appropriate comparison to Lin Feng. Because Lin Feng was able to challenge people of a higher level when his level was relatively low. The same was true for the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp. Although Lin Feng's Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp was only a heavenly divine weapon, even a giant divine weapon was not a match for the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp. Usually, Lin Feng rarely used the Primal Chaos Ancient Lamp when facing enemies. That was because he had his own considerations. First, The primal chaos ancient lamp was too precious. It was enough to make any cultivator go crazy. Although Lin Feng's cultivation was not weak, after all, it had not reached the point where he could look down on the heroes and be invincible. Now that the primal chaos ancient lamp was exposed, it would attract the attention of many experts. At that time, there would definitely be many experts coming to kill Lin Feng and snatch the primal chaos ancient lamp. Because the primal chaos ancient lamp had not become an emperor weapon yet. So the primal chaos ancient lamp had not been finalized. There was no imprint of the emperor's power. At this time, the primal chaos ancient lamp could still be dissolved and then turned into the purest primal chaos origin chi and mysterious yellow origin chi. At that time, he could use the primal chaos origin chi and mysterious yellow origin chi to temper his life source magic weapon. Many top experts would be very interested in this matter. Second, Lin Feng had always been using the primal chaos ancient lamp to protect his soul, because he knew that if the body was destroyed, there might be a chance to seize a body and be reborn. If Lin Feng was destroyed, he would be doomed eternally. He wouldn't even have a corpse to bury. The soul was the foundation of a cultivator. Therefore, no matter when, protecting one's soul from harm was the most important thing. Lin Feng's soul had been attacked by powerful cultivators several times, but in the end, it was Lin Feng who defeated those powerful cultivators' souls. Although there were many reasons. But there was an extremely important reason. That was, the primal chaos ancient lamp played a key defensive role. Without the primal chaos ancient lamp's defense, Lin Feng's soul might have already died. How could he resist those expert soul attacks? Upgrading the primal chaos ancient lamp was naturally a very important matter for Lin Feng. This treasure was Lin Feng's life source magic weapon and was closely related to Lin Feng. For example, no matter how high the grade of the magic treasure Lin Feng had obtained through a fortuitous encounter was, it would still be extremely rare. To put it bluntly, it was just a worldly possession that could be snatched away at any time. Moreover, many high-grade magic treasures required a huge price to activate. However, the natal Dharma treasure was different. Activating one's natal magic treasure did not cost anything. A natal magic treasure was equivalent to a part of a cultivator's body. Unless the cultivator died, no one would be able to take away a cultivator's life source magic treasure. If Lin Feng's primal chaos ancient lamp could reach the level of a quasi-emperor weapon, the power released by Lin Feng's primal chaos ancient lamp was even greater than the power released by the Nine Devils diagram. This was the biggest difference between a natal magic weapon and a magic weapon obtained through a fortuitous encounter. Although the Nine Devils diagram's level was high, Lin Feng could only activate a part of the Nine Devils diagram's power. The primal chaos ancient lamp's level was not as high as the Nine Devils diagram, but Lin Feng could completely release the power of the primal chaos ancient lamp. Therefore, when Lin Feng activated the primal chaos ancient lamp and the Nine Devils diagram, the power released by the natal magic weapon, the primal chaos ancient lamp, was even more powerful. Lin Feng walked towards the fiery sun crystal step by step. Buzz, the fiery sun crystal vibrated and released a terrifying energy wave that swept towards Lin Feng. Each energy wave was extremely powerful. The fiery sun crystal seemed to be unwilling to be taken away by Lin Feng. Therefore, it began to attack Lin Feng, wanting to kill Lin Feng. Lin Feng sneered and swept his fist forward, shattering the energy wave released by the fiery sun crystal. Then, he grabbed the fiery sun crystal in his hand. The fiery sun crystal was worthy of being called the Sun Spirit. The temperature was incomparably hot. Lin Feng sensed that the temperature of the fiery sun crystal had probably reached more than 30,000 degrees Celsius. If an ordinary cultivator touched the fiery sun crystal, they would immediately be burned to ashes. However, Lin Feng had refined the heavenly fire. He was now immune to flames and high temperatures. Therefore, he was not afraid of the terrifying temperature of the fiery sun crystal. Lin Feng took out the primal demon cauldron and threw the fiery sun crystal into it. Then, the heavenly fire gushed out and flew into the primal demon cauldron. He began to refine the fiery sun crystal. The first step in refining a magic weapon was to smelt the materials. Now, Lin Feng needed to smelt the fiery sun crystal into a liquid. Then, he would refine it into the primal chaos ancient lamp. The fiery sun crystal itself was a sun spirit with the scorching attribute. Therefore, smelting it was not an easy task. However, Lin Feng used the 4 heavenly fires to refine the fiery sun crystal. Although the fiery sun crystal was difficult to melt, under Lin Feng's repeated smelting, it was gradually dissolved. After the fiery sun crystal had completely melted into a liquid, Lin Feng then took out the primal chaos ancient lamp. The primal chaos ancient lamp flew into the primal demon cauldron. The fiery sun crystal was poured onto the primal chaos ancient lamp. Then, it was gradually absorbed by the primal chaos ancient lamp. Time passed. In about a day's time, the primal chaos ancient lamp had transformed from a heavenly weapon to a giant god weapon. However, the primal chaos ancient lamp had only absorbed a small part of the fiery sun crystal's liquid. Clearly, the primal chaos ancient lamp could continue to evolve. This made Lin Feng very happy. The fiery sun crystal was indeed a top-grade sun spirit. Its effect was beyond imagination. Another 3 days passed. The primal chaos ancient lamp was about to undergo the most crucial transformation. This transformation was to evolve into a quasi-emperor weapon. Evolving a giant god weapon into a quasi-emperor weapon was a huge leap. It was incomparably difficult. Lin Feng was very clear about this. Once the transformation was successful, its power would undergo an earth-shattering change. Therefore, Lin Feng was very excited about the primal chaos ancient lamp's transformation. Of course, he knew that this was an extremely crucial moment. He could not afford to be careless in the slightest. The slightest mistake could cause the primal chaos ancient lamp's transformation to fail. The failure of a magic treasure's transformation was the same as the failure of a cultivator's breakthrough. If he wanted to transform again next time, the difficulty level would increase by 10 times or even dozens of times. At this moment, runes began to intertwine on the primal chaos ancient lamp. These runes were called Emperor runes. Emperor runes would appear on a quasi-emperor weapon. Therefore, the quasi-emperor weapon was extremely powerful because of these emperor runes. If a quasi-emperor weapon transformed into an emperor weapon, the emperor runes would transform into emperor runes. The emperor weapon's power would also increase tremendously. A total of 7 days and 7 nights passed. Densely packed emperor runes appeared on the primal chaos ancient lamp. The more emperor runes a quasi-emperor weapon had, the more powerful the quasi-emperor weapon would be. As a magic treasure made of top-grade materials, the number of emperor runes on the primal chaos ancient lamp was unbelievable. Buzz! Waves of terrifying energy surged out. The densely packed emperor runes shook and released billions of runes. Finally, Chapter 2320. Lin Feng stood proudly in the void. Not far away, there was a 10,000-meter tall mountain. Lin Feng took out the primal chaos ancient lamp. Swoosh! The primal chaos ancient lamp shot out a beam of primal chaos light. Bang! Along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud sound. The 10,000-meter tall mountain exploded. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. The power of the primal chaos ancient lamp is indeed strong. Lin Feng laughed out loud. He was overjoyed that the primal chaos ancient lamp had evolved into a boundary emperor weapon. Of course, what excited Lin Feng the most was the transformation of the primal chaos ancient lamp. It had made a real leap. Next, the primal chaos ancient lamp might become a real emperor weapon. If his natal treasure became an emperor weapon, it would be terrifying. He would be able to kill gods and demons. Unless he met a great emperor-level expert, Lin Feng would not be a match for him. Otherwise, it did not matter how many years he was an antique. It did not matter if he was the son of a great emperor or a saint emperor. He would kill all of them. Lin Feng kept the primal chaos ancient lamp. Then, he flew into the distance. During this period of time, Lin Feng had been refining the primal chaos ancient lamp in seclusion. He realized that his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Coincidentally, he saw an evil dragon and a ferocious tiger fighting by the lake. He rushed over and killed both of them. With the tiger in his hand, he carried the evil dragon on his shoulder. He quickly flew into the distance. A bonfire rose in the forest. The flames burned fiercely, illuminating Lin Feng's handsome face red. Lin Feng made barbecued meat, soup, and other delicacies that he was good at. He had all kinds of tools here, and they were all well stocked. So, as long as he had ingredients, he could cook delicacies anytime and anywhere. Lin Feng happened to be a glutton. Now that he had killed an evil dragon and a ferocious tiger, he naturally wanted to have a good meal. Bibi and the dragon rabbit could not help but fly out and start munching on the food. Swoosh! 5 cultivators flew over from afar. "Smells so good," a female cultivator said. When they saw Lin Feng enjoying delicious food in the mountain forest, they quickly flew over. "Eh? Isn't that Lin Feng?" a cultivator said. "That's right, it's him," another person said. The group consisted of 2 women and 3 men. They were from the Mu clan. Among the 2 women, the one who spoke earlier was called Mu Xianyun. He was also a direct descendant of the Mu family. The other woman was Mu Xianling. "It's really Lin Feng," Mu Xianyun said and stuck out her tongue. She had originally planned to freeload some food. But when he thought about the relationship between Lin Feng and Mu Xianling, he gave up on this idea. The other 3 male cultivators were called Mu Xianxin, Mu Xianfei, and Mu Xianchang. The 3 of them didn't say anything else. "Why don't we leave?" Mu Xianyun looked at Mu Xianling and said. These people were all led by Mu Xianling. Mu Xianling could be ranked in the top 5 of the Mu clan's younger generation. That was the reason why Mu Xianling was acting so high and mighty. Lin Feng glanced at Mu Xianling and the others, then retracted his gaze as if he didn't see them. He didn't have a good impression of Mu Xianling, so he naturally wouldn't greet her. "Everyone else is searching for dragon chi and fortuitous encounters, but you're here cooking. Are you planning to give up on yourself? But thinking about it, people like you won't have any achievements no matter how hard you work. You might as well give up and enjoy life." Mu Xianling looked at Lin Feng with disdain. She was extremely glad that she had broken off the engagement with Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at Mu Xianling and said indifferently, "What does what I do have to do with you? Don't think too highly of yourself." He. Continue to be stubborn. "I can't be bothered to talk so much nonsense with you. This is an insult to my status. Let's go." Mu Xianling glanced at the others and took the lead to fly into the distance. The others looked at Lin Feng apologetically. They didn't have any grudges with Lin Feng. On the contrary, Lin Feng and Mu Xianxue were engaged, and they might be family in the future. Naturally, they didn't want their relationship with Lin Feng to be too strained. But they couldn't control Mu Xianling's thoughts. The few of them followed Mu Xianling and left quickly. "What a self-righteous woman!" Lin Feng shook his head speechlessly. After Mu Xianling left, Lin Feng continued to enjoy his delicacies. Bibi and Dragon Rabbit fell asleep after eating their fill. They were at an age that made people envious. Other than eating, they were either playing or sleeping. They were carefree. Lin Feng continued to search for dragon chi in the forest. He would rob any cultivators who didn't have eyes. A day later, there were intense fluctuations in the forest. There were cultivators fighting. Lin Feng flew over and found more than 10 cultivators attacking a woman. That woman had a graceful figure. She was so perfect that it was suffocating. Furthermore, she had a beautiful face that could be broken by a single blow. When Lin Feng saw the woman's appearance, he immediately revealed an extremely shocked expression. Hu Mei Xian. It was actually this woman. Lin Feng's impression of this woman was too deep. Back then, in the ancient battlefield of gods and devils and Sky Martial Continent, Lin Feng got to know this demon girl. At that time, this demon girl left an extremely deep impression on Lin Feng. Powerful, beautiful, charming, mysterious. At that time, Lin Feng's cultivation was still relatively weak. In front of Hu Mei Xian, he could be described as weak. Many years had passed. Lin Feng had already become a powerhouse of a region. He was no longer the weak Lin Feng from back then. And Hu Mei Xian. She was as beautiful and charming as ever. Demon girl, that treasure is ours, and you are also ours. The leader of the cultivators immediately let out a series of malicious voices. Hu Mei Xian was such a peerless beauty. It was indeed easy to attract the attention of many people. And these people in front of him were obviously not only coveting Hu Mei Xian's treasure, they were also coveting Hu Mei Xian's beauty. So many years have passed, I wonder how Hu Mei Xian's cultivation is now? Lin Feng frowned slightly. Hu Mei Xian was too powerful back then. But at that time, it was still in Sky Martial Continent, and could not be compared to the 9 provinces. So Lin Feng did not know what cultivation level Hu Mei Xian was at now. He did not immediately take action, but observed in the dark. If Hu Mei Xian was not a match for these people, at that time, it would not be too late to take action. If Hu Mei Xian was a match for these people, he could also take the opportunity to observe Hu Mei Xian's current cultivation. A bunch of reckless fools! Yi Futian sneered. Hu Mei Xian curled her lips with a look of disdain. This woman was as arrogant as ever. The group of cultivators' faces suddenly sank. When we capture you later, you'll know how powerful we are. Chapter 23-21. The attacks of the group of cultivators were very unique. Clearly, they had coordinated their attacks countless times. Thus, each of their attacks was able to complement the attacks of the others. Therefore, it was very difficult to find a flaw in the attacks of so many experts. There were 2 ways to break their combined attack. The first method was to use violence to curb violence. The second method was to look for flaws. Using violence to curb violence was simply direct and crude. That was to crush these people's attacks with even greater combat power. It was easy to say, but it was really too difficult to do. 1 against many was already full of disadvantages. In order to defeat the other party, one would need extremely heaven-defying battle prowess. The second method might work, but it also required a keen sense of observation. During the battle, he would find the opponent's weak point and then strike it with a sure kill strike, breaking their combined attack technique. Hu Mei Xian was a genius. When she was young, she was already a famous figure in the Sky Martial Continent. Now that so many years had passed, perhaps only Hu Mei Xian herself knew how much she had grown. Humph! Facing the besiegement of a group of experts, Hu Mei Xian coldly snorted, and then coldly said, "A group of self-righteous people who don't know the immensity of heaven and earth." Boom! Following an intense shockwave, Charming Fox attacked. Destructive shockwaves spread out from her body. Those shockwaves were enough to cause people's expressions to change. Charming Fox Immortal is indeed the same Charming Fox Immortal from before. Her cultivation is abnormally strong. The Charming Fox Immortal chose to deal with this group of people in a direct manner. A 7-colored ball of light condensed in Hu Mei Xian's hands. The rainbow light ball was taken out by Charming Fox Immortal. Then, the 7-colored ball of light turned into 7-colored beasts in the air. That kind of ferocious beast was very strange. It looked like a dragon but not a dragon, a lion but not a lion, a tiger but not a tiger, and a deer but not a deer. Although those ferocious beasts looked strange, their cultivations were abnormally terrifying. Rumble! Ferocious beasts began to gallop in the void. The void shook violently. The ferocious beasts stepped on the void. Even the void was shattered. The attacks unleashed by the tens of cultivators were all crushed by the ferocious beasts. Retreat! A group of cultivators cried out in horror. It was only at this moment that they realized how powerful the Charming Fox Immortal was. But it was too late to retreat now. The attacks of the Charming Fox Immortal were simply too powerful. The condensed 7-colored ferocious beasts trampled through the void, destroying everything in their path, including those cultivators. Their bodies directly collapsed. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen cultivators had died. Charming Fox Immortal's attack dissipated. After collecting the storage rings of more than 10 cultivators, she was about to leave. Suddenly, the charming fox immortal looked in the direction where Lin Feng was hiding and said with a charming smile, "Your Excellency has hidden very deeply. You must have been hiding for a long time, right? Show yourself!" Waves after waves of violent fluctuations were emitted from Hume Xian's hands. Clearly, the charming fox immortal was ready for battle. Lin Feng did not continue to hide. He flew out, looked at her, and said, "Xianer, do you still remember me?" Hume Xian slightly frowned and said, "Who are you? How dare you call me Sienna?" When Lin Feng and Hume Xian first met, Lin Feng was only a 15 or 16-year-old youth. Many years had passed since then. Lin Feng's appearance had changed quite a bit. That was why Hume Xian did not recognize Lin Feng at first glance. Lin Feng said, "In the ancient battlefield of gods and demons, you even snatched my roasted meat. It's you." Hume Xian's eyes suddenly lit up. She thought of what had happened in the ancient battlefield of gods and demons. Later on, she heard some rumors about Lin Feng, but she later heard that Lin Feng had died. Then, she came to the 9 states. Lin Feng nodded and said, "That's right, it's me. I didn't expect to meet you here." Hume Xian smiled. This woman's smile was so beautiful that it was suffocating. She said, "Back then I thought you were dead. Looks like not only are you not dead, you're living a very carefree life." Lin Feng said, "There's a saying that good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. How can a scourge like me die so quickly?" Hume Xian smiled and said, "That's a good saying. When did you come to the 9 states?" said Lin Feng. "It's been more than 10 years. Did you join any sect?" Hume Xian asked. "The Reincarnation Immortal Sect," Lin Feng said. Hume Xian said, "The Reincarnation Immortal Sect seems to have a Lord Turtle, and he has some ties with us monsters. I once heard some old monsters talk about Lord Turtle and the ancient monster continent," Lin Feng said. "Hee hee! Lord Turtle is my master!" Hume Xian looked at Lin Feng in astonishment and said, "Rumor has it that Lord Turtle took in a disciple, and that disciple is called scum by the disciples of the sect. It's to the point where everyone wants to beat him up." "So that person is you," Lin Feng said. "Don't listen to those rumors. Many of them are untrue. It's true that I'm Lord Turtle's disciple, but I'm loved by everyone in the sect. Everyone wants to beat me up. Such rumors can't be believed at all. I'm guessing that the person who spread these rumors must be someone who envies me." Hume Xian smiled and said, "Is that true? Why do I feel that with your personality? It's very likely that you're just like the rumors say. You're simply a scum. Slander. They're definitely slandering me. I want to strongly condemn these people who slander me." Lin Feng couldn't help but exclaim righteously. Hume Xian smiled and said, "I'm going somewhere. Do you want to come with me?" "What place?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "Dragon's Pool," Hume Xian said. "Dragon's Pool? What's that place?" Lin Feng asked, puzzled. This was the first time he had heard of Dragon's Pool. Hume Xian said, "It's said that it's a place where dragons gather. Inside Dragon's Pool, the dragons seem to be guarding something." Lin Feng was shocked. Something that the dragons were guarding? It must be something extraordinary, right? "All right, let's go take a look at Dragon's Pool," Lin Feng said. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lin Feng and Hume Xian flew in the direction of Dragon's Pool. Clearly, Hume Xian had already found out the location of Dragon's Pool. They weren't too far away from it. 3 days later, they arrived at Dragon's Pool. Dragon's Pool was extremely large. Rather than calling it a pool, it was more like a lake. Mist lingered in Dragon's Pool. Visibility was very low. There were many cultivators scattered around. There were also cultivators flying into the depths of the dragon pond.